He might not be from Krypton, but he's heads above the rest. His knowledge can't be questioned. You can put it to the test. So if you want to hear the truth and have nowhere else to go, I'll give you the solution. Just tune into his show and just kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod.
And welcome back to the Fandom Zone. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking. The man, the myth, the very much in pain legend, Mr. Zod. I just had oral surgery done. God, that sounds terrible.
What the fuck is a legend?
No, I said oral. See, I can barely form words more than usual. But I had to cover this because it was downright hilarious. We weren't able to meet up about this earlier. But I wanted to get Yeah. The other night we couldn't do this because our schedules were conflicting.
Interesting. It's almost like you didn't have to tell anybody that at all.
I know, but I'm
like you had the stream set up, motherfucker.
Yeah, but drugs.
God damn it, Perp.
I know Perp's trolling me. Jesus Christ, Perp! I sent you a link. Okay, so I want to break.
I stand with a motherfucker.
You know what? He did the same thing with Ryan Johnson too. At this point, I feel like Perp is one of the greatest trolls besides Glare. Yeah.
Okay.
But I do agree with
What's
Perp.
up, Q's Queen? What's up, Gary?
Hey, don't be throwing that jersey in here. This is a no jersey zone. But I do believe that
but he's got shores out there.
That's true. He does have shores. I did want to do this in two parts because I was talking to a good friend of mine as I was doing reviews. I did a review last night with Zachary Lyris and the Admiral. You can see it on Twitch. We did reviews on trailers. And I got to say, PB, I almost broke my oath. I saw What If and Marvel, goddamn you. That show looks good. I'm not going to lie. I checked out the trailer.
It counts. No trailer watching, jackass.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's why we switched to Twitch because it couldn't be shown on YouTube. So we started on YouTube.
You ain't supposed to be watching Disney stuff.
No, the trailer doesn't count.
No, trailer counts. You think that they don't make money off their trailer?
We never established trailers count on YouTube.
You said you didn't want to support them, and they make money off of you watching the trailer.
I mean, whatever. But I do want to say that I agree with Perp in one sense. And Perp, this is all you're ever going to get. So you clip this and cherish this moment. I do agree that a show should not be judged around its controversy unless it directly affects the show. In some ways it does, but I do believe there is unfair critiques based on feelings rather than actually critiquing, because some of the stuff I heard pointed out don't really make sense. I've heard some good reviews like Purple Valkyrie. She had a great review. Guys, go check her out. She had an awesome review. Very explicit.
You only want the guys to go and check her out?
No, guys, girls, go check her out.
I didn't realize that you were playing that role for her.
Oh my goodness. It helps with my OnlyFans. Anyway. But no, this time though, I want to point out two different things. I'm coming at the man and the show, because the show I don't have that many gripes with, except for what they did with Tila. That's one of my favorite characters. I'll get into that in my show review, but I do have a problem with the way the PR and the person behind the show does. And look, you guys can say all you want to that the artist has nothing to do with the product, but that's a bunch of crap. When you come out and you insult people, it's not a good look. And I talked about this with Zachary Leary and Bass Admiral. And
I wonder if that person has me blocked too.
Yeah, I talked to him about it, and he said he didn't know he had you blocked. So, but I think that it's important to separate when you're reviewing controversy. And this is the problem with the media. They put their bias over actually telling us what a show is, and we can't do the same. You can't put your bias over giving something a fair review. It's not the way you're supposed to review. So I'm going to do this in two parts. I think we honestly need to show this man, because what he says is gold. And this wouldn't be the fandom zone if we didn't point out absolutely stupid, ridiculous statements. And this interview on this channel is so full of gold. And look. This man makes it so easy to do this. So that's why I'm doing this as two separate things, because my review for the show is going to be different than my review for the man. And the man makes the show. So I think it's very telling the state that we're in as far as creators and how they feel about consumers. And this might illuminate how Netflix feels about you guys as consumers, because it's hilarious. So fans can criticize creators, but if the shoe's on the other foot, they're wrong. Sounds like no, Perp. No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point of what's being said, Perp. That is not the issue. The issue is somebody coming out and saying one thing and it's not true, and then trying to backtrack over a lie. That's the issue.
Yeah, I don't. Nobody said that he couldn't criticize the people that are criticizing him. Nobody said that. We're talking about the fact
guy
that
I never meet
after you were caught, you're like, nope, wasn't me.
So let me screen share something first to give context to what I mean, so you guys can catch up with what's going on. And you said do window because that works better, but why isn't this? Oh, Chrome tab. There we go.
I said tab. I never said window, you lying sack of shit.
Okay, so here's a tweet from over a year ago, and this is what kicked it off. And this is a very ancillary thing, and shout out to Clownfish TV. They do some good stuff. They don't take sides. I watch their channel. They're very down the middle. Even politically, they're not one way or the other, okay? They were reporting something. And their initial tweet was, from my understanding, Kevin Smith's He-Man series, from an alleged insider, Teela is a better He-Man than Adam. He steps aside to let her and her girlfriend take over hero duties. If this is true, not it's true, if it's true, this won't play well.
If it's true. And how old is this?
This is from like a year ago. It was March 10th. On March 11th.
Year.
Yeah. This is the lead up to the show. Kevin Smith responds, as a showrunner, I really could have used these story suggestions before we locked the scripts. However, no, He-Man, no stepping aside, and Teela has no girlfriend on our show. The storyline is pretty dark and way metal. Before Revelation, we were going to call it End of the Universe. His next post was, with all due respect to at Screen Rant, because Screen Rant wrote an article for the first time ever pointing out how it appeared that Teela was taking center stage in this show. And he responded.
Doesn't that mean Screen Rant approved?
No, Screen Rant questioned the idea, and he had responded to Screen Rant. And here's the whole crux of the thing.
Ooh,
It's a question of there's no misinformation. The tweet's right there, Perp. How are you delaying? We're like, this is misinformation.
Because there's a lot of misinformation. We got to keep the misinformation off of the interweb. We don't want to get flagged by the White House. We'll bring in Perp and he'll set us straight about it. I mean, I don't know how he's going to change exactly what was said in the tweet, but I guess we'll find out.
I mean, this interview, Perp, he says himself, you can't defend someone who says in their own words that Netflix doesn't care.
What I'll appreciate is when I'm gonna back Perp into a corner. Maybe I shouldn't say that about somebody of his complexion.
But before we get started, let me welcome everyone in here.
Finally.
Queen, how are you? Cyber went to bed, but thank you for dropping in. Gary North, good to see you. Sean B, hi. Jenny, how are you? Keely, how are you doing? KH, good to see you here. Of course, our favorite pie, lemon pie. And of course, Gary North. Yeah, exactly. Tila was a main character, and I'll get to that when I get in my review. You
didn't say hi to JFD.
Oh, hey JFD. Sorry about that, Justice.
Or Penguin. You skipped the Penguin too.
Oh, I skipped the No, Penguin. Hey, yeah, exactly. And they're right. Technically, He-Man didn't step aside, and there'll be a few spoilers in this if you don't want it spoiled. By this point, everyone probably already knows because, hey, internet. But yeah, it's true. He-Man didn't step aside. He got killed. So I guess what? Semantics?
Oh, did you say spoiler warning?
Yeah, I did say spoilers. Okay. Spoiler warning.
Can you put up? Can you put out one of those? What the fuck? The ticker at the bottom. You put a ticker on, yes?
I don't know how.
Bullshit if you don't know how. I've seen you put a ticker up before. So, I hate you. I want you to put a ticker on the bottom that just says spoilers.
Oh, you mean a banner?
No, not a banner. A ticker. It's right next to the banner, you fucking jackass.
Oh, it's down here. It's a new button. This wasn't on here before.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. If I know it was in there, it was in there, guy.
Okay, hold on.
It's been in there all the way back from when I started streaming at minimum. You just type in there, you put spoilers, and then you bring it up, and then I have the drugs.
Yes, indeed. What up, y'all?
What a fucking name. That is an excellent name. Approved.
Spoilers. Look, Perp.
Wait.
You know,
What up?
This guy's trying to get a ticker on the
man.
screen.
I gave you credit about one thing. People should separate the show from the controversy. But I do think the controversy speaks for itself, man. You can't after well, we're gonna do a Shilling on that interview. But after the interview, you can't deny the fuckery that happened. I mean, it happened.
I mean, in my opinion,
it came out of his own mouth. It came from his own words.
In my opinion, when I looked at that whole entire stream, whatever he did, and so I was like, all right. But like people are blowing up like he's like, oh, he had a meltdown. He didn't have a meltdown. See, that's the shit I'm talking about. Like people are just making up shit that's not has nothing to do with none of this shit. And like we were even talking about it. It's like I don't even feel like a lot of these people that talk about it have watched those 5 episodes. I
did. And you know what? When we do a review, we'll do a review together because I feel like you're the person who will be less leaning towards it because I am. technically a fan of the original and the 2002, so I don't want people to think I have a slanted opinion because a lot of people come out, but the attacks are the same, Perp. You have to admit, like it's the same attacks. That's not fair. There is something to be said about
when I made that comment earlier, because it seems like anytime that something like this happens and a director or whatever responds, it's automatically, oh, he's attacking the fan base. It's just like, I don't understand that. It's just like he worked on the shit. He could talk about it, can he not? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just like, it seems just to me like there's just a double standard. Like, creators can shit on directors, call them all types of shit, but then when it's on the shoes on the other, side of the foot, whatever the fuck, however it goes, you know what I'm saying? It just seems like, oh, now they want to play victim. Oh, they're attacking us now. It's just, no, you just giving you an old taste of your own medicine. It's just, it's
the thing, you're giving a taste of their own medicine are the people buying your product.
But also, but like I said, but the people that are making your product, like, you wouldn't have them, like, you know what I'm saying? They're just, I don't know, man. It's just, it's a double standard.
I mean, it's not exactly the same in the sense of if you equate it to Ryan fucking Johnson, it's not his product per se. He was just the purveyor of it. Like, he doesn't own He-Man, does he?
He's even said, he's came out and said that on that stream. He's like, yo, we're not doing nothing. We're not doing nothing new. We're not changing nothing. We're just taking things like this, the last whatever chapter in the story, and we're just putting that
except
on Netflix.
That he fucking lied to everybody after the fact. What do you mean, how? When people came out and said, hey, this is pretty much just the Tila show. He's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's He-Man.
Dude, whether He-Man stepped aside technically or got killed, it doesn't fucking matter. It's sidelining a character. That's semantics. The definition of semantics is trying to provide a justification for one thing, even though it clearly means something else. It doesn't. You can play around with the words, but it's still semantics.
So would
he
people
just
rather
killed the character to get him out of the way?
So would people rather Kevin Smith just come out and spoil the whole entire show?
No, but he could have said Tila plays a larger role. He could have said it's not true.
She obviously does. If you're watching the show, she obviously is. And I think people's biggest issue is that they think that Tila is going to have the sword by the end of it. I don't think that's the case.
I don't think she will.
And I think that's what people's main gripe with it is. I was like, no, it's still He-Man's show. Like, he has all the bigger moments. Like, Tila does not have a standout moment in this show that's just like, oh, she's just completely like.
Dude, that's not how you spell fucking spoilers.
Well, I can't spell that.
Switch the L in my fucking eye. My God.
Well, human words.
Lur? L-E-R? Spoiler?
But also, going back to the whole lie, just say, allegedly, Kevin Smith lied. So what? How many corporations have lied? You know what I'm saying? Look at Marvel. They literally do switches in their trailers. Like,
okay, I equated it to Marvel. I equated it exactly to Marvel. And people ask them ahead of time, as in nobody has seen it yet. Hey, what's the name of your movie? Is it called Endgame? And they lied right to our face. They're like, no, that's not what the name of it is. It's definitely not the name. And then the name was revealed. They didn't come out after the reveal and say, it's not the name. Like, once you've been caught, maybe just accept the truth instead of continuing to throw propaganda.
What propaganda, though? That's what I say. Like, I don't see none of this stuff that people be talking about when I was watching it. I don't see none of this stuff they're talking about.
How many episodes are there?
There's only 5. 5
5
is out right now.
episodes.
It's only 5.
And is He-Man in every episode?
Pretty much.
No.
What do you mean, pretty much?
Come
No,
on,
this is
Herb.
yes
He's
or
in
no.
the
There's
first and
5
last
Yes, he is.
episodes.
He's.
And the
Are you
fourth.
saying he wasn't? You saying he wasn't in episode 3 or 4 when they went to heaven and they pretty much saw him and stuff, and they were doing
they went
flashbacks?
to heaven in episode 4 because it was the one before 5. I watched it, Perp.
I saw He-Man in every single episode. He might have not been. I'm saying as far as he might have not been there physically because they were doing like flashbacks, but he was in those. He was in those. In the episodes.
But Perp, flashbacks. He was in flashbacks, yes. But that's not what people are talking about. You could have people in flashbacks that doesn't count as a character being on the journey.
I'm just like seriously trying to understand this. Like, why are people sitting there?
Because they thought he was going to be part of the crew. Look. Even if just say someone.
How many episodes? I just have another follow-up question because I don't know the answer to it. So. Perp says that he's in every episode. You said that he was in 3 out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll split the difference between the two of you, and I'll say that he's not in an episode, because I haven't watched it yet. How many episodes of the original He-Man is he not in?
None.
The original series?
Yeah, the one that this is based off of.
And the 2000s one, there was 2 or 3 episodes that solely focused on like one character. Like there was an episode that solely focused on the backstory of Teela because they were setting up as the sorceress being her mother. And then there was a solo episode where you got Skeletor's backstory. And those were 2 episodes where there wasn't He-Man or the regular crew because they served as kind of flashbacks. See, I know the whole story, Perp, and I understand where they're coming from. What I'm saying is it's all semantics, and it's just the way you word things and the way you market stuff. And you have to be very careful with how you choose your words. There's nothing wrong with not having him highlighted in the show if you allude to it or you don't commit to it or like don't come out and be a fucking sarcastic prick when someone asks you a question.
Hold on. Like I said, like when we were talking about this earlier, what is the show called?
It doesn't. That's semantics again. So what? It's fucking called the Masters of the Universe. People are supposed to glean. There's no He-Man.
Hold on. What was the original? What was the original series called?
That doesn't matter if it had his name in the title or not.
That should be a dead giveaway, though.
People who are going, no, it's not. Especially when Kevin Smith comes out and says He-Man's going to be in it.
Yeah, he was in it.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I don't know how to explain it. Look, I feel like I get what you're saying, Perp.
I can understand. Like, look, I can understand if we saw the show, and like literally there was no He-Man, then it's just like, damn, they just straight pulled the Marvel and just like, yo, those were fake scenes. You know what I'm saying? But he's in there. He plays. He's a very big.
I even came out. Look, I'm not against all of your points. I even came out and I said people were lying when they said he died in the first 5 minutes. I remember that. Like people are like, "Oh, he died." No, he didn't. He literally. I clocked it. It was the first episode, 27 minutes and 15 seconds. He died his arc was done in about 20 minutes because then the rest was Teela being a sniveling bitch. But but he was
another thing I didn't see. So
see, well, that's for another review. But if you don't think that she had a different attitude than that's
because people already set themselves up because they were like, all right, and this is why I don't even like watching reviews before I go watch a movie because then your perception is going to be automatically like warped because like if I went to go see Black Widow and I watched a bunch of reviews of them shitting on it, just like I'm going to go into it expecting like, oh, this is going to be shit and this is going to be garbage. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know, man. It's stupid. It's stupid.
And here's the other thing, Perp. I am a fan. Teela is my favorite character. Okay, so I am a fan of Teela. I can tell you right now, if you're going to adopt a character and you want to make that lead, cool. I am down for Teela being a lead character, but they trade. I can show you so many instances they completely changed her personality for this show, and they didn't need to, because the personality she had would have worked. And I know. He-Man died. She felt betrayed. I get it. I review stuff. I get what they were going for. I was saying it's bad execution. I'm not mad at the fact that, look, the haircut and the brawly arms thing, whatever. Fine. If that's the design you want to go with. What I'm saying is the personality change bothers me. And I'm a Sarah Michelle Gellar fan. You all know this. I'm a huge fan of Buffy, but she's a terrible voice actress, not just in this. But she's been in other stuff too.
Maybe she learned it from her husband.
I mean, she was poorly. I think we could agree she was very poorly miscast for that. Her
she was
voice
fine. She was fine to me. It wasn't nothing like that. Like I said, like people biggest gripe is Teela, but Teela wasn't like the show stealer at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? The bigger moments, like I said, were like with Skeletor, He-Man himself, and like what's that dude? The wizard dude?
Yeah, okay.
Orca or some shit. Those were the biggest. Nobody ever. You know what I'm saying? And
with the way they killed him off too. Come on. And then Kevin Smith saying being.
But yo, we know like
he did. That's.
I guess. Hold on. I guess I watched too much Dragon Ball because I know for a fact all these characters are going to eventually come back. Like we don't even know that He-Man's dead. Like they didn't show a body. People automatically assume, oh, he got stabbed by Skeletor, so he's automatically dead.
Well,
no, like we didn't see the body.
Smith said in an interview, in his own words, we didn't just kill him once, we killed him twice. So I'm just going by what he's saying and spoiled himself. And he was happy about it. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference.
And he was trolling though. Y'all took that so serious. Like people do that all the time on the internet. And it
wasn't a troll. There's a difference.
That was a troll.
Ryan Johnson troll.
Ryan Johnson. Why do we keep bringing up Ryan Johnson when we talking about Kevin Smith?
Because
Ryan Johnson did not produce this. He did not. He has nothing to do with.
That's an analogy.
It's called a comparison.
That's a horrible comparison.
They both very much mirror each other in their tactic they took.
Really? How was it a terrible comparison if they both took an IP and molded it to their own liking and then produced something out of that?
Kevin Smith literally said he did not change nothing. He didn't take, you know what I'm saying? He didn't change anything. He's just going off of what the source materials.
No, he wasn't.
What do you mean going off the source material?
Every episode, he picked and chose. Sound familiar?
It's a continuation of the original series.
He wanted to use, and he wrote his own story around it. You can't.
I guess.
Yeah, I know, because I've seen every episode. From the 80s one to the 2000 to 2003, I've seen every single episode.
But this is not. I'm saying this is not a new series. It's a continuation. He didn't change nothing.
Oh my God, that's what a continuation means. You are continuing the designated storyline that was started originally, whether it's the reboot in 2000 and 2002 or 2003,
which is another thing, because I feel like a lot of people haven't watched the original He-Man in like years. I don't think a lot of people have gone back and rewatched that and stuff.
We're not all Sean Stackhouse.
I know. Sean probably watched every single one leading up to it, but I've watched.
My thing is like I just think people are just completely overreacting to something so little and just making something little out of fucking nothing. And we do this all the time. You're saying like, "Oh, you ruined my childhood." Your childhood has been over for how many years?
It ended yesterday.
It's just
when I learned
like,
what they did to He-Man.
Like you know, when Ryan Johnson bringing him back up, I don't know why, but you know, for an analogy, when he says calling people man babies, that's literally what people are acting like right now, just over a cartoon, bro. It's crazy, though. It's crazy. People nowadays we don't even talk about the story. We talk about like what hairstyle they have, because that has an like I said, like on the other night where somebody tweeted at me, it's like, oh, she looks like Antifa lesbian. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that looks like. I'm lost.
No, I was gonna hop on the thread because that is ridiculous. But the hairstyle is what they're going for. Come on, you can't be completely blind and tell me there's no agenda.
It's only an agenda because you look for it. You look for it.
Sometimes they make it obvious.
Put up Dean Jacobs' comment.
Oh, where? Oh, hey, Dean.
It's little to you I have drugs. But if it was your favorite IP, it would be a different story.
Not true. There's been
Really?
plenty of time.
You're telling me that from
wait, before hold on, because I already know where you're going. Hold on.
Yeah, you do.
Perfect example, right? Rugrats. I trashed that shit because I don't like, because that's an IP, that's an already established IP, whatever, that they changed it. I didn't like it, but I didn't sit there and just say, oh man, they ruined my childhood. And just, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? I still got the old shit.
No, I was going to say, what if they took your favorite show now?
Attack
on
Titan.
Hey, we're just going to do Titan.
They already did that with Attack on Titan, the live action movie. I didn't even watch that.
But the Japanese did it. That's different. What if America did it, and then someone like came along, a director, and they
just make the continuation, and every single character is not the character that you remember. How would you feel?
Then I don't watch it. Then I don't have to watch it. Plain and simple. Space Jam 2. I don't have to watch it.
It doesn't come down to the people. I'm not watching Space Jam 2 either. There's no point to me. But that doesn't mean that people who were expecting something else, because that's what Kevin promoted it as, and then they watch it and they go, this is what my characters have turned into? Why did I ever hold anything in my heart, mind, and soul for them if this is how they are?
All right, so I want to ask Zod, since he's pretty familiar with him. What exactly were you expecting from 5 episodes?
At the very least, if they were going to give Teela the reins, which, let's be real, they did, and I'll get more into that.
How did they give? She doesn't have the sword. All she has is she's the man of arms or whatever. That's all. That's the only promotion she got.
Literally leads the campaign to heaven and hell because Adam is dead.
Who got them there?
She's
not
the
Teela.
lead.
Not Teela. Who got them in there? Who had to help hold what's his face back? The dude that was in hell pretty much. When Orca made that sacrifice, Orca had to make that sacrifice so they could get into heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I have my own.
And Adam was the one that got them out.
Orca. I'm not saying that, Perp. I'm not saying they didn't give her challenges. I don't have a problem in that sense. I'm saying you make it like she didn't lead the expedition. She clearly was, even in the photos.
Who else is going to do it? She's the second in command. Who else is going to do it? The dude with the crab arms?
Crab arms.
She had to literally be talked into it by the cat.
Oh, she had to get talked into it by Reggie?
Because he was like, the cat took her to the side and everybody got that wrong in their review. It wasn't her friend that talked her in the side. I don't know why there's rumors going around about that. That wasn't true. It was the cat. And then her friend said something, but he said, what would Adam want you to do? And yada, yada, yada. And then she petted him and said, good kitty. And then her friend says, I vote we go on this. So I don't know why they twisted that around either. But see,
now this is where like this whole agenda thing would point out. If Teela in that moment said, you know what, fuck Adam and his opinion, blah, 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 and just went about, no, she still respects him, still has respect for him, still has love for him and stuff. So it's like, I just don't see this agenda shit or just this woke shit that people talk about. Like, that's just not there. It's not existent.
Yeah, Gary North, he was part of an episode where Tila had to face her greatest fears in hell.
I like that. That
What the
fucking
fuck was the
Ela,
question?
that shit was dope.
Whoa, hold on. You said, yeah, Gary Moore. What the fuck was the question?
Oh, Zod was Scareglow in the show.
Okay,
yes.
Scareglow. That was a pretty cool cool design and shit.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a problem with the art. I don't have a problem with the music. Hell, I don't even have a problem with most of the characters. Lena Headey did an excellent job as Evelyn. I thought she was fantastic and exactly what I pictured. Mark Hamill is a hit or miss. I'm sorry, he still sounds like Joker to me. And the laugh was not Skeletor's laugh. But that's a little gripe. It doesn't take away from the show. He still fits the character. The only one who
Skeletor
was
Skeletor was the shit in this. Straight shit on Taylor, like, you're not the champion, blah blah blah. Like, you're not, you know what I'm saying? All this. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. There's too many great moments in that shit. And I'm not even a He-Man fan. Y'all already know this. I tell Sean Stackhouse all the time He-Man trash. Then I was like, damn, I saw this shit. They put He-Man respect on He-Man's man. Like, you know what I'm saying? This dude's OP as fuck. I was like, this was pretty cool. Now, I don't know, man. I just feel like a lot of people are just gonna be wrong by the time we get the second part and shit. And I don't know.
Like I said too, I'm going to accurately judge everything once I see two parts, because I was talking about that the other night with some people. You have to see everything before you can judge something. From the first 5 parts, I'm just going up by what I've seen. But the bigger issue here is I'm dealing with 2 separate things: the controversy first, and then the show. Because I think they both need their own things. And some of this shit just lends itself to a great Shilling, because some things were said. And actually, I appreciate Kevin Smith's comment, because he's just illuminated what we've always known about Netflix and these other...
Wait, are you going to play a video?
Yeah. So, we're going to check this out. And this got so bad. He had to disable the
screen.
He disabled the comments for this interview. So it was it's pretty funny.
Sometimes
so,
YouTube
2.5 hours.
We're
sometimes
YouTube minutes.
Sometimes YouTube will do that by itself. That they've done that a couple times with my some of my videos. I was kind of pissed. I was like, what the fuck? Because somebody told me, like, I was like on my Fear Street shit. So I was like, because it's usually just the little toggle thing is automatically on. That's the only video that, like, when I put out the part 2, somebody let me know. It's like, yo, I was trying to comment, but like your comments were off. I was like, what the fuck?
No, the live chat was disabled. Only the moderators can disable the live chat. So either he did or somebody else disabled the comments. Because it was the live comments that were disabled. The regular comments, he's got like 3,000 of them. So yeah, it's the regular comments. But this gives a good insight. So let's listen to the magic here. We'll pause and comment as it goes. Let me fast forward to
possible, whatever. And unlike Tom Cruise, I'm not
motherfucker. I hate you, Zod.
Being like, we're saving the industry. You put on a mask and then run real fucking fast. So we asked the audience tonight to keep masks on since
what the fuck are you doing wrong? There's an echo.
Since our guest and I tonight.
That's because I have my computer mic
thank
on.
y'all for doing it.
Turn your
I've been trying to make this
put your
movie for
fucking
7
earbuds in.
If I put my earbuds in, you can't. It won't go.
It's not. Oh my god, that's not how it fucking works. We already went over this before, and I fixed the problem, and you already fucking forgot how to do it.
Or just
holy shit.
Just mute yourself while he's talking, and unmute yourself when you want to pause it and stuff.
Yeah, that works too.
Whenever you're ready.
They just announced it this week and stuff that we're making it, but I would hate to be the guy that shut production down, man. That would fucking eat it so hard if I was just like, we finally did it. And they're like, wait a second, you're sick because you did FatMan Beyond. I'm like, fuck! So thank you for staying masked for the show. I just a piece of personal information, kids. It's 7:35. This is trigger warning for anyone who may have an eating disorder. This is for mostly the folks at the YouTube audience or anyone here in the room. Because I posted about this in the past.
Hey, man.
And some people get really like wigged out about it and stuff. So if you're wigged out about issues and stuff, maybe mute or whatever. That being said, I just finished a 7-day fast. I have not eaten since after we did FatMan Beyond last week. And it was amazing. I feel fantastic. I'm all fucking cleaned out.
That's not how the human body works.
I had, right before I came here, I had a
Don't laugh at me, Kevin.
tomato soup. And you would have thought like I got to, fuck Bo Derek in the 80s or something like that. It was like the most delicious fucking bowl of soup I've ever had. And when I'm eating or feeding, I obviously got weight control issues and stuff. So when I eat, I'll just turn it on and eat for like hours straight and fucking feed and graze and stuff like that. So
what are you doing, guy?
Studio. And then I was on a show he does called the George Lucas Talk Show. And we did that virtual as well. So when I met him at the Secret Stash today, we've been having the Revelation celebration sold out on Saturday and Sunday, where a bunch of people come and take pictures, they get stuff. When he came down to the stash, that was the first time I got to like lay hands on the guy, which sounds fucking dirtier than I meant it, but you know what I mean? Like this person has become so fucking important to my body of work, man. And this was the first time I got to see him. It may be the first time a lot of you get to see him tonight. Give it up for perhaps the greatest orco you'll ever know, at least in my opinion, the great Griffin Newman, ladies and gentlemen.
When you say one of the funniest people you've ever worked with, I'm just trying to come up with a relative scale here. Below Muse, but above Lee? What are we thinking?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, I have Affleck beat easily. I know, because Affleck works too hard. That's
what you're saying. His comedy's too thirsty.
Yes. He is a thirsty comic. He wants it too badly. And does he not have enough at this point? I ask.
I know, it fucking bugs me so much that he's so beautiful, so kind, so fucking rich, so fucking talented, and like he gets everything. Yeah, well, it's like can't you have one fucking lane, man? But he has every lane.
Some of us out here have not even dated J-Lo once. We are still waiting for our first at bat, and he's.
I'll date her twice. Like, yeah.
I gotta say that is actually quite funny because.
Like, I will be Alex Rodriguez. Why not? What the fuck are you laughing about?
No, I did think that was a pretty funny joke. Ben Affleck, man. Who was I talking to? Oh, Zachary Leary. I was talking to Zachary Leary. Oh my God, he can't stand Matt Damon. I don't know what it is. I think he owes him money or something. He was just like, yeah, fuck Damon and his apples. Anyway, side note. Good night, Ian.
Oh my God! You
gotta. Give me such a kind introduction. I hate to come out and come in.
I'm enough. You fucking pots.
Do feel like I need to offer a little bit of constructive criticism.
Fair enough.
He-Man Beyond.
Yes.
I get it. The show's called FatMan Beyond.
Yes.
You replaced Fat, topical, the new show.
Yes.
I get it.
Okay.
I do feel like there's a missed opportunity.
Oh.
This show used to be called FatMan on Batman. And this was an opportunity to call this show
FatMan on He-Man.
No, New Man on He-Man.
What was it?
New Man on He-Man.
Oh, you've got a man as well.
Yeah, I do.
What?
Anyway, welcome to He-Man Beyond.
Mark Bernardin will be back next week, ladies and gentlemen, and he never fucking springs on me like that and shit. Let me tell you
Holy
something
fucking
about
shit. Oh, you wouldn't want to spring
Griffin,
something on
his
Kevin Smith.
performance
You never
of
know
Shilling
how he'll react.
is one of my favorite for obviously for what he does with it and stuff. But this is what I always loved about it. In the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe from Filmation, Orko was voiced by Lou Scheimer, one of the producers, Scheimer, and I forget the other.
He was the head of the animation company. Yeah,
Yes.
Filmation.
So he would record his voice, and then they'd put it through a filter and dial it up so it could be high and stuff like that. So when he recorded it, he just sounded like a guy, and then they pitched it to sound like Orko. So if you went up to him, you know, with your kid, and you were like,
Oh,
"This is
that sucks.
Orko," and the kid was like, "Be Orko," he'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you know, come to a lab with me so they can dial my voice up and down and put it through a filter. Then you'll hear Orko." When we were doing this, Griffin didn't, like, if you watch the show, there's no filter on his voice. He can just do that voice. He found it. And I watched him for like so many sessions on a Zoom monitor, sit there and sometimes hold his throat like this and like do this amazing performance that if you met him in real life and you had your kid and you were like, "This is Orko," he could literally do Orko for the kid. And that was always my theory. You know, I was like, "Oh, that would be so sweet." The theory tested out today when we did the Revelation celebration at the Secret Stash. We had a lot of kids come in, more kids than we've ever had in the stash before, because we offered like a free toy to kids like 10 and under, man, and fucking kids love free. So they came up, and so he got
Kids don't fucking know about free.
Voice.
What are you talking about, Kevin? Like, how many things aren't free for kids? All kinds of stuff is free for kids. Like, how many
Parents'
fucking...
money is free. Parents' money is free for them. So
No
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
and he's talking about kids under 10? How many fucking kids under 10 are working where they're like, "Nah, man, I gotta earn my money.
you'd be
Yeah,
surprised.
it's
Just let me finish up my spelling bee homework."
like I had to be conditioned when I was a kid. There was like, Mom used to say every day to me, "Hey, what's the best kind of food?" And I'd be like, "Free food." And she'd be like, "You damn right." And so that took years of people saying free is the best. So like now, the other day, actually, this was proven. There's a sandwich shop and my security office is right next to it. So the lady comes in and she goes, "Hey, you want a sandwich?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah." And she just looked at me. There were 3 other officers. I don't even know if she was talking to me. And they were like, just looked. And I go, "What? Free food's the best food. I mean, that sandwich is like $5." I just, like, what are you talking about? You know the salary. I can't be affording to go over there and eat, fucking have Angus beef for fucking $5.99 with tax. Fuck that shit. Anyways, what's up, guys? We're doing a great chilling. We're gonna do a great chilling on this. And so far,
Yeah, at what point? Because it's been very fucking tame so far. He's only been a minor putz.
Yeah. So far, nothing great. Just we've gotten further than a Campia shell. Campia normally goes hard like the first 2 minutes.
I'm not talking about Campia going hard.
So
Nope.
So
Voice live for somebody.
The thing that was great was it was one of the first kids in the morning asked.
Is that
Because
right?
you don't want to say, "Hey, I can do whatever you want," because then the parents go like, "Why are you trying so hard to impress my kid?" But there was,
Yeah, they're like, "That's a little fucking suspect, Orko."
it was the moment I've been waiting for. And by the way, I have zero chill. What Kevin's not telling you is in the first session when I did the voice myself, and he went, "That's
Oh,
impressive."
this
And I
guy.
went, "Well, yeah, I spent 2 months working on it because someday I want to be able to tell a kid that I'm the voice of Orko and then do it in person." Like someone who was actually cool would just do it and go like, "Oh man, I never even thought about that." I thought about it. I thought about it way too much, but
But you lobbied for the gig.
really hard. But
Really
yes,
hard. Like he on
yes.
Twitter, he was
Yes.
not just him tweeting about it, going like, "I really want this part," which is very rare for any established actor, and you're an established actor. This is a guy with a career. He's been in stuff. And
Questionable, but go on. Sure.
but there he is, kind of putting his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Going like, I really like. I'm telling you, I'm the right person to play this part. And so eventually, like, it penetrated because there were other people signaled going like, this guy's amazing.
I was working multiple angles. I mean, now I'm on the other end of it. You
He
can't
was
fire me.
working multiple angles, and
this.
eventually it penetrated. That's what just fucking happened. Holy fucking shit, man! Oh God! Like,
dude's
I don't
funny when
need to
he's not
see
funny.
behind the fucking curtain here, guys.
Yeah, we're doing a peek, and it's funny because I got worried about getting I still might at the end of the night get a copyright
Whatever.
claim. I don't think so, I'm used to it.
I mean,
It's pretty
send
much-
super chats, people.
Yep. As soon as as
Yup.
soon as they're enabled again,
I can't send a super chat?
no,
Why not?
it's going through the process of re-enabling it
So
again.
then why the fuck are you concerned about a claim if nobody can even send money anyway?
Because
Holy fucking shit, continue.
Continue.
YouTuber, God.
Let's see. Tell me
But
what happened.
Eric Carasso, who's one of the great writers on the show.
Eric wrote episode 5. He's
Oh,
wrote,
the good
see
episode.
episodes 6 and 10.
Shit was
I co-wrote
fire.
them. He's
Never
a
seen it.
wonderful writer. Came from the world of Supergirl. That's where I met him. He wrote one of my episodes. And now he's doing a huge fucking show that we can't
We
reveal
can't say
yet.
it's very secret, but very large.
Very massive.
He
Sure
was soon
it
able
is.
to buy all of us.
Yeah.
For sport. Eric and I have a mutual friend named Derek Simon, who's my oldest friend. I met when I was 9 years old. Everyone before that, fucking lightweight. I didn't keep up with them. And Derek's
This
the
guy
oldest
you
friend.
kept, Derek.
Yeah, that's the oldest one I kept. Was at
Somewhere
9.
watching the audience is somebody at the beginning like, oh, Griffin, I loved him when I was a kid.
I traded
comes
up.
to that moment and they're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Second I
I'm-
met Derek, I cut the fat.
I'm no Derek.
Yeah. Derek Simon's a writer on Supergirl as well. So he and Eric work together.
Derek and Eric?
Derek and Eric.
Fucking, there's a sitcom.
Here's a sitcom.
Did
Now
he
he's gonna
just
say
say the
something.
writer on fucking Supergirl? Oh God
I met
damn
him
it!
on Supergirl.
Okay,
Your
well,
favorite CW show.
motherfucker. How do these guys from CW get jobs to write on like big shows? I don't understand it. I can't think of one fucking episode
they're
of
cheap.
Supergirl. Yeah, Perp, I'll second that. Like, so episode six, right? You said we could look forward to the brilliant writing of the guy from Supergirl. Fuck me.
Yeah, but he was the one that did episode 5, and you loved episode 5.
Episode 5 was fire.
That's debatable, but
That's
I'll
not
get to that in
debatable.
my review.
Holy fuck, we're gonna be here all night.
Absolutely. And so he and I have known each other forever, and we bonded over. We went to a day camp together where I won't give you too much backstory here, but we went to a day. I just think people at this venue will appreciate this story. We went to a day camp together that was an arts camp, but they made you go to the pool in the middle of the day.
And so you were doing arts, but they're like, everybody stop. No.
You have to
One
do
time
one
at
normal
bad camp.
thing a day. Get in the fucking pool. And Derek and I were like, we are never taking our shirts off. So we, for two...
That's how I am now as an adult. I don't even take my shirt off in the fucking shower.
Absolutely.
That's
Two
weird.
successive summers, we ran the, oh my God, I forgot to pack a bathing suit. You can't make me go in con. And they would go, okay, well, then the one thing you can do is sit on the dirt in this area. We need to be able to look at you visually. There's only
Because
this
he
much dirt
fasted
around
for
the
7
pool.
fucking
So just sit
days.
there, and we
They
would just sit there and
bonded
talk
over
about
the
everything. And that's how we
hashtag
became friends.
Coin anal.
So a lot of our nerd phases have gone through things together. We got into your movies together, And he knew that I was very, very into He-Man, which was he picked other things, but He-Man was like my ballywick for
He's
number
lying about
So
Cam.
Eric, when you hire him onto the show, reaches out to Derek and goes, He-Man, I got hired. This is a big thing, and I know, as we have all learned, He-Man fans are very opinionated. So he's like, I gotta know, because I'm a fan, but I'm not a mega fan. I want to know what the expectation is.
Oh, that was a quality political answer.
Eric's like a huge DC fan. So he gets hired on Supergirl. He writes a bunch of the animated movies. He knows he has that fan brain in his head. I can write to me, right? But with He-Man, he said, I want to talk to someone who's really hardcore about this. And Derek went, talk to Griff. So I get on the phone with Eric on like a random weekday evening, and we talk for like an hour. And I was like, look, this is what I've always liked about it. It's this, and I like the messiness. It's all these different pieces, all of that. At the end of the conversation, he goes, what do you think of Orko? And I go, look, Orko's divisive. Half the people love Orko. That was their favorite character growing up. And half the people hate Orko.
Not true.
I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot. That
true.
A lot of people either don't like his character or liked it. I've heard that a lot. So
I wholeheartedly fucking disagree. I was born in '84,
up, Justin?
You're born in '84.
So I mean, from my time era all the way up to 2002, it's played up as if there's this overwhelming majority. Well, if there's so much hate, where are the people coming out who are going like, yeah, Orko, that motherfucker needed to die. Not only die, but be sickly as they put him through this trial. And yes, Perp, before you say anything, his scene was fire. I'm not going to lie. He did do a heroic thing. But it's like a kid having cancer and then getting hit by a bus. Okay?
No, it's like you're giving Krillin from Dragon Ball Z a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, because most people don't like Krillin. Most people don't like Krillin like that. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty mixed with him. You know what I'm saying? When he got killed by Frieza, people felt that. But you know, if you would have gave him a moment and be like, yeah, that I look at Orko as like either like the Yamcha or the Krillin of Masters of the Universe.
Hey,
they're secondary characters. They play more of a role in the original Dragon Ball.
And not to mention, too, I can't remember anyone just coming out and saying they hate Krillin. They sometimes didn't see the point of him being in an arc. He was kind of just thrown in there like they didn't know what to do with him. But I never heard people come out and say they hate Krillin. Maybe Yamcha, because, I mean, dude.
I can see Yamcha.
Yeah.
He's like, a meme. He's a whole meme.
But I don't think that was necessarily true. I agree with Gary North. He says Oka was a troublemaker and a coward. So yeah, that was his characteristics. Or he would like mess up magic constantly, and he was supposed to be like the guy who they could depend on to do magic. And he did a callback to that in the first episode where he put the tiger in the bubble, and he was like, whoops, and he couldn't let him out, and Adam had to come and pop it. So yeah, that was a good, like I said, that was a good nod. Let's continue.
Finally.
Half the people liked Orko when they were little and then pretended they hated him because it wasn't cool anymore. Right. It goes through things. Some people think he's C-3PO. Some people think he's Jar Jar. He's either essential or he's beyond expendable.
Wow.
Right? And I said, but I think he's essential. I think he's important. I think, and he went, okay, because, I just was thinking wantonly, you would be a good Orko. And I went, well, don't fucking say it too loudly. But yeah, obviously, that's what I'm thinking. I would be a good Orko. Okay. So then he's in the room with you now, right? He started whispering, you know that Newman kid, the bunny ears next to the tick?
He did a total Iago, whispering in my ear. He was like, Griffin Newman.
But then Diamitra, who also gets hired onto your writer staff, she wrote
episode 2, Poison Jump.
Yes, she was the writer's assistant on the first season of the tick.
Oh, is that right?
That
so she's also started whispering,
okay.
Making it seem like it's an independent thought. No, it's coordinated.
Look at you,
It's
man.
coordinated.
I was catfish.
Yep. And then the two of them tell me, hey, Teddy, this is the executive at Netflix. That's the guy who's also going to be able to put his thumb on the scale. We know you're a big fucking dork. You like action figures and shit, right?
Teddy.
This guy, well, they're saying that to me, but they're like, this guy's an even bigger fucking action figure dork than you are.
Teddy is. He has all of his original figures, the entire collections, and they're out of boxes and they're mounted on shelves. And not mounted like they're glued to the shelf.
No.
He just has them standing perfectly.
Yeah.
Although we live in earthquake country out there. And he said that, like, I've gone through 4 earthquakes, and one time only one figure, one Skeletor fell. He's like, but I put him up, everything's fine. But he's got rooms dedicated to this shit. Like he's forgotten more about Masters of the Universe than anyone will ever know.
Truly. And he has like the European only releases. He has everything in perfect condition. And he's this incredibly artistic guy. He started out in stop motion animation before he became an executive.
He did stop motion?
Well, so this is,
I know he did voiceover as well.
This is what I found out.
He did a Loki once in one of the Marvel cartoons.
Yes. So Dia and Eric were like, you got to appeal to Teddy on the action figure front. So I start following him, and then we start DMing about like, what are you looking for? You buy this recently? Next time I'm in LA, hey, let's go meet up. And we just nerd out about stuff. And I hear his whole story, which is that he went to school for animation. He was a stop motion guy. People start asking him in other classes, hey, can you fill in a voice? His voices are so good that people start hiring him professionally for that. And he moves up the ranks and becomes this executive. Now it's the guy who gets to pick which cartoons end up on Netflix, and thus the only place that matters.
Live action stuff.
Live action as well.
Sweet Tooth.
Yes, and the Dark Crystal series, which was amazing. There's a lot of stuff at Netflix. All the good geeky stuff at Netflix. But he's got this Instagram that is, his
amazing.
stop motion background.
If you ever see it, you go to it right now.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're at home. Animated.
It's spelled like animated, but you have to know that his name is Ted. And he builds like sets for these
gorgeous
figures and
fucking dioramas that he. I mean, this is a guy who's like real high up at Netflix and like is always overseeing 10, 20, if not 30 projects. But like still every day takes time to like set up his figures, light that shit.
Yeah. He puts smoke and fog in there, like foliage.
He's put more work in these pictures than I ever put into one of my motion pictures.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's truly wild. So I was talking about all that, and then I just said at the end of it, by the way, I might send an Orco tape last week. Keep your ears open for that. So I just was trying to make sure. I know at the end of the day,
way to game the system.
I really did. But then this is the problem. I can only reveal this to you now because at the moment you've been like, this guy is so fucking desperate.
Yeah.
Someone get him a date. What is this? It's putting all of this energy into Orca.
More like I would have been like, he's trying to get to us too badly, man. That guy has a fucking gun.
Yeah.
You were the absolute fucking right choice, though. Even like when we heard all the auditions, we heard other people do Orco. And all of them did a good job. He did a great job. And as soon as we got you in front of the mic with the real lines of the show, oh fuck, it was absolute magic. Your scenes with Lena are incredible, and you never met, never even recorded with her.
No, we were saying that today. I was like, watching, God, our chemistry is good. And it's like, I don't know her at all.
That'd be crazy. You could walk up to her at a place and be like, we've worked together. And she's like, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely. I don't work with people who look like you.
You're too little.
Right. Yes.
That's actually pretty funny.
To go full circle, I work so hard to sort of get on the radar for this, right? And then I finally go to my reps. I go, please, let's stay on this. Let's get an audition. They send me the script pages, and then I go, fuck. Well, now I have to figure out how to do it, right? How do I do this voice? And the conundrum is that Lou Scheimer was mostly doing it through post-production. And the backstory of that is Lou Scheimer was the head of Filmation. Filmation's competitive advantage was that they were really fucking cheap. They were really good at producing animation on the cheap. There are all sorts of techniques they used, reusing things, flipping the image so you could get it in both directions, all this sorts of shit. But the other thing that you know as a man who just did a big fancy schmancy animated show is that the union rules are such that I think you are allowed to have any voice actor do up to 3 voices without paying them extra.
Very true.
And then when you go over 3, the salary increases.
That's why Diedrich Bader did both King Randor and Trapjaw as well.
Right, because you just double dip and it doesn't cost you anything extra if you got a guy there who can do more than one voice. Would, but I could. So Scheimer was trying to keep his budgets down, and so they could only afford to hire like 4 or 5 actors, and you can only get 2 or 3 voices out of each of them, and then other characters appear.
Right.
And so his solution was, I will take every additional male role under a pseudonym and not pay myself, and every additional female role will go to my teenage daughter under a pseudonym and not pay her.
That was how they did it?
That's how they did it. And so Orko, which is one of the only characters on the show, this is not true, one of the only main characters on the show that was not part of the toy line first, that was
Absolutely
created
true.
Filmation first.
In 81, the toy line comes
Yeah.
out, Masters of the Universe, and that's technically what we're closest related to, Revelation. We use all their lore, all their backstory, because they wrote bunches and bunches of it and stuff. But it wasn't until 83, that they start He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. That's where Orko's created.
Right. So Scheimer was personally invested in creating Orko and then does the voice for it. But his main goal is, I got to do like 8,000 fucking voices on the show. I got to make sure they sound different, you know? So he's running his voice through 1,000 filters because people can't realize that voice is the same as the other guy who's on screen at the same time. So I'm here in the present day trying to reverse engineer a voice that came out of practical logistics, right? And I can't find any recording of what Lou Scheimer sounded like. I found like one video of him doing an interview. I'm like, sounds like a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what his voice was in the room before they run it through that filter. In my audition, I'm in my closet and I'm downloading apps and going like, chipmunk voice, is that what it is? And then trying that. And I got to this thing where I was like, the only way to make it sound right in post is if I'm like talking like this, like, Adam, come on, what are you doing here? And then I ran, Adam, what are you doing? But it feels weird as an actor when you're going like, Adam, I don't got any magic left, you know?
You know, now that I hear it, we should have done that version of Orko on the show. Might have gone over better with some fans.
Yeah, but it's hard to get in the feels because as it's coming out of your mouth, you're like, that sounds wrong, right? And so I sent in 2 takes, one each way, and then didn't know whether you were going to want to run it through all those filters because of continuity and tradition, all that. But from the moment I got the role, there was maybe like 2 or 3 more months before we started recording. And I was like, I'm just going to fucking run this every single night in my bathroom. Like before I go to sleep, I brush my teeth and I do my like Orko scales and see if I can get up there.
I guarantee you no other actor on the show did that. Like you really poured your heart into
Well,
it.
no other actor had to figure out how to replicate auto-tune with their throat. That was everyone else had a normal voice. But yes, I really did. And it was a lot of it came from the fact that he was this character that was divisive. And you and I talked about this from the very beginning. I know you talked about this with your writers, but you went like, we got to make Orko work. Like that's sort of like it's a personal challenge where it's like you don't want to.
The marching orders we had in the room was let's make Orko so cool people get him tattooed on their body.
Did you see the woman today?
Yes. There was a woman today who came into the Secret Stash for Revelation Celebration, and she had a pretty fresh Orko tattoo, and I was like, get out of here. And she's like, when I saw the trailer.
I was in.
And then there was a tweet that
I texted you last night.
And you texted me as well. That was somebody going like, well, that's it. I'm getting an Orko tattoo. And I was like, mission accomplished.
But it was like angry. The text was like, oh, you fucking guys, I guess I gotta get an Orko tattoo. It was like very resentful.
Let me tell you, of all the angry tweets, that was the least angry.
Best one. That was the best one.
I've seen way angrier tweets than that.
But you know, I think the challenge is that like we didn't want to cater to the people who disliked Orko at the expense of the people who always loved Orko.
Exactly.
You got to make an Orko that's still in line with everything for everyone who's been there on his side, and then you also additionally want to break down the defenses of everyone who was like, why can't this guy just learn how to do a magic trick?
Step one of that is, weakening him. Like when we first meet him, it's like in the first episode, might as well be an episode of the old show.
Yeah.
And it's just the same old Orko. Next time we meet him in episode 3, he's, on the verge of losing everything. His health is connected to magic. So he's very weakened. So once you take him to that stage, then people are like, oh, all right, I used to hate this guy, but he's dying at least, or something like that.
Yeah.
Then once he starts, I'm telling you, you gotta be a fucking robot or a computer to not fucking get emotional when you give that little speech where you're like, please just take me on an adventure. Like
Well, even Roboto got worked up. And they're in the room.
right there in the scene.
Rusting up the gears. No, but I think I don't remember if I said this early on, but even like with the Tick, which was similarly a thing where I was a huge fan of it for decades. And wow, there's a new Tick. No chance they're gonna hire me. They're gonna want to get fucking Topher Grace or something. But like, I gotta.
Is that your shot. Fucking Lex Luthor in acting?
No, I have other more direct. I'm taking a more distant shot rather than the people who I actually see in the waiting rooms.
Who is your acting Lex Luthor?
I mean, the fucking big head on Silicon Valley, who's great.
Really?
He's great, but yeah, I mean, I feel like he's one of them. There's a collection of them.
A bunch of rogues who keep you from getting parts.
Yeah, other jittery little men.
That goes on your tombstone. Here lies a jittery little man.
Finally, may he sit still. But the thing, you know, and this was sort of when I met with Teddy and sort of talked about shit with him, I tried to do the same thing, which was like, I'm not gonna sell you I'm the best actor for the role. I'm gonna just try to let you know what I think about this character, and I try to convey the depth of the thought I put into this guy. But when I was sort of in the running for the Tick, and everyone else who was in consideration had been the star of a TV show before, and I was nobody. I was a person fired from TV shows before. And I met with him and I just said, like, look, my whole thing is that, and I'm sorry I'm going on a tangent, but I think there's a lot of linkage between Orko and Arthur, and they're both characters I grew up loving.
Agreed.
And the thing I love about Arthur is that there's no bravado, right? There's no machismo to this guy. He is genuinely driven to do the right thing because his moral compass is that strong, despite the fact that he cannot even hide that he is terrified, right? Arthur has no performative mode, right? He doesn't even have an alter ego. He forgot to come up with a fake superhero name, right? So he's Clark Kent, but actually Clark Kent all the time, even when he's on the front lines of the battle.
True.
And I think there's something really brave to the fact that he is that scared, that he's not someone who feels empowered enough to know, like, I think I got this. I used to be weak, but then that spider bite, and now I'm fucking set, right? He's like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die at all times, but I'd rather die trying to do the right thing. And the thing I said to Ben was like, it's the thing I love about as a kid. My favorite goddamn character of all time is Fozzie Bear, because every time it would just be Fozzie backstage to Kermit being like, I really think I'm going to get it this time. I really think this is the act that's going to play. And Kermit goes like, Fozzie, this is a bad idea. I'm warning you, your concept is sweaty. This act is not going to translate. And he goes like, I really think it's going to work. And he goes out there. And of course, Statler and Waldorf immediately go like, this fucking sucks. And there would always be that moment in every Fozzie Bear routine where he'd sort of just look at them and go like, please guys, I'm trying really hard here. You know, that he wouldn't even try to like roast the crowd or fight back or whatever. He'd just be like, come on, man, I'd love to get a laugh here. And that it's that same thing with Orko for me, where he's always failing. Every goddamn trick fails. And yet every time he shows up and he's like, magic trick for the palace. And it's like, Orko, don't do it. And he's like, no, this one's gonna work, you know? And that kind of thing, which I
still
think
impresses me that you just fucking drop the voice. Like, what is gonna be like for the next person to fuck you? You use that voice.
Oh.
What's Orko's O face?
That's
well, I mean, first of all, he barely has a face and he's got an O on his chest. So I think he maybe just points and goes, oh. But I think, yes, I think that's the very smart thing you guys did as writers, is that you gave him that moment that
Justin, we're not AFK.
I blew it, right? That you have that moment of him pleading. And there were many moments where we were in the recording booth and I would, it wasn't acting. It was just cold reading the script pages. Because, you know, you're rewriting stuff all the time. I've read the scripts when the new stuff comes in. And just reading through it for the first time, I would get genuinely choked up because it's just so sweet and earnest. There's no ulterior motive with this guy.
He's the kid's way in. He was the kid's way in back in '83.
Right.
He's the character that any kid can identify. You aspire to be He-Man,
Right.
but you can identify with Orca.
Right. I'm
And we
tiny.
knew that
No one
coming
takes me
into this.
seriously. I get
Yes.
everything wrong.
Yes.
Right.
And I want to go. Can I be involved? Like, I'll be good. I'm as good as you get.
But
Liz
that's
wants to
that's
be
the
an
moment.
adult.
You guys writing that moment when he goes like, please. Why am I not doing the voice? Let me go on one more adventure, please. You know, where it's like, I feel like that's gonna break down the heart of anyone who is cynical about Orca before, because it's like, oh God, who really cares? I can't just go like, this guy's annoying anymore. I understand the personal stakes for him and how much he's hated not seeing these people for years. You know,
he missed them.
he really did.
You know what it proves?
Gets
It
me.
proves that fucking even Jar Jar can be redeemed.
I want to say this. I have a podcast I do called Blank Check, and that podcast came out of my friends.
Has anyone heard Blank Check before?
Thank you.
For those at home who haven't explained the premise for it, it's wonderful.
Well, so the premise now, as it stands, is we pick a director who we think at some point got David Sims, esteemed film critic for The Atlantic, and New Jersey's own Ben Hosley, aka producer Ben, aka 18 more nicknames, who is actually here in attendance tonight, not to blow up his spot. But we pick a director who we think at some point got blank check status.
And explain Blank Check status.
Well, like you post Clerks, where people go, Kevin Smith, that's the thing. I get what it is. Here, take a bunch of money, go to a mall, make a movie. Right?
Yeah,
And your career goes
I
through
I
these
do
peaks
agree.
and valleys. Every
Oh my
director wants to get to that point where people go, I get what your thing is. You've proven it. You found your audience. Now go out and do it again.
Right.
And people
Hey,
take
PV,
swings,
you
and
still
they
there?
either, they go up, they go down, all this sort of stuff. My friend David and I were always just fascinated.
He must be
And
fighting a bear.
Friends would go into a movie trivia night together, and we would just
He could
sit there
be.
and go like, what was that guy's career? And we pull up IMDb and go like, right, he made that and then that. Like the order of it fascinated
Fall
us.
down the rabbit hole.
Right. So it's like, oh wait, that's a reaction to this, you know? But the first year of the show,
And so wait, when you do a director, you
one
do
movie
their-
at a time, one episode at a time, the whole filmography.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, we're starting John Carpenter in 2 weeks, and that will take us to the end of the year. We're spending many months with Carpenter because that's a
How
big
many
fat filmography.
movies is it?
2020.
Do you also do Elvis TV movie?
We will do that on Patreon. That's what we call bonus content, my friends.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my, is that right?
Absolutely.
Oh, you guys got it.
Absolutely.
You fucking,
Because we go.
no
it has to
wonder
be
you were so
theatrical.
insidious about getting into the show, man. You know how you got this thing wired.
Yeah. Right.
That's genius. That's smart. So
Yeah.
you go, what other directors do you do the bonus?
Well,
were
so
there other
bonus,
directors that
bonus.
did TV that you were like, we ain't doing this on the main show. We'll
Sure.
do it elsewhere.
The bonus we do, we'll do franchises rather than directors. So a franchise that maybe had a lot of people work on it, didn't have one formal sort of auteur behind it.
Right.
And we'll do those episodes, and then one of the 3 episodes on Patreon a month is some sort of bonus grab bag thing. So if there's something like that in the career, oh, they did a TV thing, there's a thing they maybe wrote or didn't direct or whatever, it feels connected. Maybe there's a sequel or a remake to one of their movies, like anything that's not part of the proper theatrical canon. And sometimes we just do stupid shit. We've done 2 episodes where we literally just watch studio logos and go like, yeah, I think 75 was the best year for Warner Brothers. And people like it. I mean, we just keep on going like, look, we'll have these conversations either way. If you want us to record them, you can listen to them.
Right.
We used to think these were the conversations that made other people walk away from us.
Right.
But, you find the one person in each town who's like, I wanted to have that conversation with somebody. All this a long-winded way to say that the first year of our show, what it came out of was we had this very stupid idea that was, everyone talks about how much they hate the Phantom Menace, a thing that now people forget and think that people only started being mad about Star Wars 5 years ago. Weird the way that we're bound to repeat the mistakes of history when we forget them. But Phantom Menace, the whole thing was everyone saying, as you said, as everyone said, just like, well, this is the thing the original movies got right and Phantom Menace gets wrong, right? And we had this sort of thought experiment of like, what if you pretended Phantom Menace was what Phantom Menace is pretending to be, the first movie in a franchise? You were watching it without any of that fucking baggage, and you're just taking it on its own merits. And we had this dumb bit of, what if we did a podcast where every single week, the only movie we watched and talked about was the Phantom Menace, and we treated it like it was Jupiter Ascending, like it was the first movie in a franchise that just, too bad no one showed up, didn't work out. Who knows what he would have done, right? And all the foreshadowing, you're looking at its own. And producer Ben went He went, how long is the show going to run for? And we went like years. What are you talking about? We'll never run out of material. I go, I'll give you 10 weeks. So we did the show. And then at the end of 10 weeks, there was a huge twist. We found out that in fact, somehow under our very noses, George Lucas had made a second Phantom Menace movie.
What?
I know, it's called Attack of the Clones. This thing fucking came out in theaters. I never heard of it. No bits. But we did that for like a year. And then we ran out of Star Wars movies. We went, what is this fucking thing? We realized over the course of doing it, we were more interested in George Lucas, trying to figure out what George Lucas was chasing, you know? Not chasing Amy, but like, what was driving this guy at any given moment?
Yeah.
And then that
How do you
became,
go from THX 1138 to American
Right.
Graffiti to Star Wars?
Right. And because we did have order, of course, we later corrected and did THX American Graffiti on Patreon. So we spent a lot of time on Phantom Menace is the point. And Jar Jar for me, the humongous missed opportunity with Jar Jar Binks for me is that George Lucas clearly loved Jar Jar, right? I think he really, really thought the public was going to fucking adore this thing, right? And there are all those interviews you see behind the scenes where he's like, the key to this whole movie is Jar Jar. If we figure out Jar Jar, the movie works. And it's like, well, that's maybe the problem. You're betting on the wrong horse. But it was all about Jar Jar for him. And then it comes out, everyone shits on Jar Jar, and he's like, never mind, Jar Jar has nothing to do with anything. Right? Second movie, he's in it for one scene. He goes like, meets a vote, yay, and everyone, you know. Third movie, he sheds a tear, silent. He didn't get a line. He doesn't get residuals for that movie, right? It's a featured extra. And for me, I was just like, the greatest missed opportunity is that he didn't give Jar Jar a meaningful death, right? It's a prequel. We understand that things are going to go bad. We know the status quo that we have to get to by the end of Revenge of the Sith, or at least leading up to. Let Jar Jar die a hero. Let him have a noble sacrifice and make everyone who disliked Jar Jar feel like an asshole. And I dislike Jar Jar, and I wanted him to rub that in my fucking face. You know?
You're like, I'll pay you to fucking make me
okay.
It's the guy in your friend group who you hate, and he does you a big solid, and you're like, I guess Greg is cool. You know?
And somewhere Greg's watching going, that's how he feels about me?
Right, yeah. No offense, Greg. But like, even if it's not death, it's like Jar Jar had to mean something. And instead they make Jar Jar the villain. He's the guy who cowardly votes in favor of the Palpatine thing. And it felt like an easy way out, you know? And it's the Orko thing of just like, make what he does mean something. And just fucking test the cynicism of the people who think that they're too cool for Orko, you know? And I see people like, you know,
you got me, Justin. I don't know what the point of this whole diatribe is.
Being angry online that there was this whole thing about like, oh, Kevin killed Orko because he hates Orko and he wants to punish the Orko fans. And it's like, no, the idea was to make Orko mean something. And also, we all know, especially in sci-fi and fantasy, if a character is dead, they are dead forever, and there is no way they can ever come back. So we should all honestly take this very seriously as the final time we will ever see Orko.
That's the one that like I honestly, I can kind of get when people are like, oh, I wanted like more He-Man in this show and whatnot. You know, I want to say like, oh, just fucking wait.
Right.
Like episode. I'm not. Should I? Fucking why not?
You can say episode 6 goes hard.
Episode 6. At the end of episode 6, we do something that they've never done in the franchise before.
You're gonna get more He-Man than you think you wanted.
And like episode 7 contains no bullshit. And you know, I know I'm going to say this, and then a very, very vocal contingency of the internet is going to say I'm lying or something.
Apologize.
Like that I'm baiting and switching or something like that. But I promise you, on my child's life, in episode 7, there is a Skeletor and spoilers, He-Man fight that tops anything. That's one of the most brutal fucking fights I've seen. The only brutal fight in animation I've seen more brutal was in Invincible when he fucking held his kid through the trains and shit. Which, to be fair, was good parenting. But but very brutal, very bloody and stuff. We don't, you know, ours doesn't take it to that place. But between these two characters, it's so fucked up. Pat and Adam are directors. You know, we wrote.
No, he said episode 7. None of us have seen episode 7.
As we know, he gets the power and shit. And
I wish you would never said that though, because I would like to be surprised.
We wrote about like they fight. Pat and Adam did this.
Well, see, that's my point too. Like in defending himself, it was like, okay, well, that was my other point too. The second half hasn't dropped, but my whole question is, because I've seen Netflix do it before, why release only 5 parts instead of doing all 10? Because it wouldn't.
Because I think because they've been doing it a lot with like a lot of the foreign shows. I've noticed like you know that show Loop It, like but no, I'm not saying like they've been doing that not with just their foreign stuff, but like with a lot of different things. Like even look at Cobra Kai, even though there's like, you know, behind the scenes stuff and switching studios, but that's actually no. Let me a better example is like Selena, because Selena, they had part 1 come out. It was like what, like 9 episodes, and then part 2 came out like a few months later. So they've been starting to do that, but I guess because they're getting so much content, so they're starting to break things into parts instead of like seasons. They've been doing it a lot.
For this, I think it would have flowed better just having 10 parts, because this would be one where it would make sense to do.
You mean 10 episodes?
Oh yeah, 10 episodes, because they're
I thought
only
it was supposed to be
27 minutes.
I thought it was supposed to be 15 altogether. Like there was going to be 2 more parts. Where I could.
No, from what I heard so far, 10, because he even says it in here. And they're all written and done because he's already working on other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like Netflix wanted to kind of roll it out like it was like kind of an event type. You know what I'm saying? Like more of like an event more than just like a regular series kind of.
Yeah, like what they did with Fear Street, because those were all shot and done, and then they did them as a weekly release as opposed to releasing all 3 movies. But those were actually fire. I mean, I thought, I don't know what you thought about them, but I liked all 3 parts.
Yeah, I like them all. I like them all.
I thought that last part was just.
That was crazy.
That was crazy. Cool. We should do a review on that. I'd probably have more joy. But okay, so finally, this is the part I wanted to get through. I did not know there'd be 42 minutes of them boring the shit out of me. Poor PV probably fell asleep.
I like getting the backstory to things like leading into it. But I understand, like, yeah, it was a lot of fluff and stuff like that. But you know.
But let's get to the juicy stuff, because a lot of this is telling. And once again, I'll stand by my statement. There's a simple way to do this. Like, you know, pick your words wisely, because the part I want to focus on is the part of, you know, throwing Netflix into it. And you know what, Perp? I'd be curious to see what Netflix actually thought. Like, you think there's an exec somewhere going, this motherfucker's not supposed to say that. We're still tricking them into thinking
I thought people already knew that, like, because I always say, like, yo, why are we like looking at Rotten Tomatoes like they're credible or something like that? Since when is like IGN credible? Like that don't dictate shit.
Yeah, but the point is, you shouldn't tell the consumer. They're basically saying they don't give a shit about the consumer's opinion, is how it comes off. And he's
no. I looked at it as like Netflix does not dictate what Rotten Tomato does. That doesn't sway them like if they're getting a season 2 or not. It's all about their stats. They don't care about what Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but we don't even know what the real stats are because they don't release their numbers.
Well, all you can do is like really look at Netflix, and it's on the top. It's on the top 10.
That shit doesn't mean anything. They had Open House on the top when it came out, and it was garbage.
Hey, it's streaming, but like, you know what I'm saying? Anything that, look at Manifest. Manifest has been up on the top 3. Yeah, it's been on the top 3 for like 3 months. That should have been on the top 3 for like 3 months, and people like I see on social media always talking about that. But like, that's how they, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, like most companies aren't going to release the numbers unless if it's like subscriber shits. That's the only time they're going to brag about it. But,
Mega Jenny 1 didn't figure out your icon, Perp. So yeah, here's the part that's telling. And look, this just makes my argument, and this is a half people bitching this isn't working kind of a thing, but it's also a half like confirming what we've been saying, right? And you've been part of these talks, Perp. In all seriousness, we know the companies don't give a shit, but I think it's illuminating to actually hear it. You know, I'm fine just being validated. I had always known that they don't really give a fuck. It's just really funny someone coming out and saying it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think Netflix would want that out there. I mean, it's one
Like I
of
said,
those
I think people.
situations like with Brie Larson.
I think
They
people
shut
like.
her up too.
But like I said, I think people just took what like how Kevin worded it, like oh, Netflix just doesn't. No, they just say it like he was just saying like you getting a season 2 or more of something doesn't depend on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not like oh that
Yeah,
doesn't.
but
You know what I'm
that's only
saying?
half of it. We'll pause it when we get to that, but
All
they're
right.
getting into it now. But yeah, how he words it is very poorly, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
This brilliant fucking sequence that goes on for 7 minutes where they just beat the shit out of each other in like insanely entertaining ways, using magic, using fucking bare fists and shit. At one
They
point,
grab fists off of bears and use them to.
at one point, he, there's original drawing of He-Man, the original first drawing of him. He's got like an axe and a fucking shield, and he looks very Conan-like. The character was very much derived from Conan.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the Toys That Made Us Masters of the Universe episode, but they were going to make Conan toys, and then they saw Conan, and they're like, there's fucking boobies in this. And so they decided to make something a little more kid-friendly, and that's what Masters of the Universe became and stuff. So there's the image that they first drew of the character, like we get to incorporate. We try, like we just, that's why like when people are like, you're not a He-Man fan, I'm like, yeah, right.
The cuts are so goddamn deep in this show that it's like, I would say this as non-antagonistically as possible.
Yeah.
People can dislike the show. That is obviously a legal opinion.
Oh my God. As the guy who made fucking yoga hosers, I'm used to that.
People are
Like,
allowed to dislike
I
it.
have no problem with people being like, you suck and this fucking sucks. That's
Right.
fun.
But like the thing, it goes deep, it goes hard. This was the other thing I was going to say. Like, The Tick was a show that got canceled prematurely, right?
Did it?
Unfortunately, yeah. If you ask me,
seasons?
I didn't get to buy a beach house, so yeah, that's premature. I'm just kidding. I hate the beach. We did 2 seasons, and
The Tick
I
was a
bring it
good show and got
in the
canceled too
streaming
quick.
era. I think we're all used to people going, God, we had the whole thing planned as a 5-season arc, and then they drop it after 2 seasons, and you're left with blue balls, and it's unresolved, right? And that was certainly a thing where Ben Edlund came in, and season 3 is this, we're getting into this, and like people were saying, why aren't you taking Chairface Chippendale and all these characters from the comics and bringing them in? Well, we're working up to that, and then we never got to work up to that, and people are frustrated, and I get it. You had an aborted plan, and then you feel like, well, I wasted all this time getting into something. Not that it's wasting time. The first 2 seasons of The Tick are very excellent. You should watch them, please. But there's that kind of thing. And a thing that I have been trying to communicate as much as possible anytime I have a microphone in front of my stupid face is that 10 episodes were written all at once. Netflix has chosen to release them in 2 batches. This isn't a thing where it's like, well, we hope you get a second season.
Show. I thought we were talking about the Tick.
No.
Revelation. 10 episodes.
Right.
And the back 5 are done.
Right.
Bear just finished the score for episode 10 with his live orchestra and stuff, and it sounds fucking astounding. Now that his score is done, we're finished.
But like,
Pat and Adam have sent in every fucking shot. It's locked. So it's finished. I know some people online are like, you ain't coming back. This shit's getting canceled.
It's done.
And I'm
it's like in the can.
yeah,
right.
It can't not come out.
Right. And not only that, it was 10 episodes all written at
one
the
big
same
story.
time.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like a story that certainly leaves the door open for more adventures, but I think tells a complete, satisfying story in relationship
in a
to
perfect
itself.
world, they would have released all 10. I ain't bitching. I'm happy they released them the way they did, especially because 5 is such a great cliffhanger.
I actually agree with that. See, Perp, I agree with that statement. Like, they should have released all 10 so that we got a full scope. Because I think that leads to a lot of the problems too, is that the way 5 leads, and clearly by this, it's confirmed. I don't think what happened at the end of 5 is permanent.
It's an Attack on Titan cliffhanger.
Yeah. I don't think that he's actually dead.
Yeah, like somebody's gonna end up healing him because, like he just said it in the 60, like you're going to see a lot more He-Man in the next 2 episodes.
2 episodes, yeah. So there you go. And this is the reason why I wanted to do this Shilling, because people clipped certain things. And yes, I went through that whole boring fucking 40 minutes of that idiot talking. And I'm sorry, I didn't learn anything fascinating. But there is more coming out. So I can only judge on the first 5 that I have and then see how it flows. And then watch all of them and be like, okay, how does this flow as a complete season? But at the same time, dude, we could both agree on this, man. Marketing is so important. Like, Netflix has done 10 episode series. This is an American show. They had no reason. Like, I understand they want to make it an event like War for Cybertron. That's already done, and I can't wait for that 3rd season because that whole show is fire. Watch War for Cybertron. But I don't think releasing it the way they did, maybe they thought it was a good idea, but I think it would have worked better full time.
I think it's gonna pay off for them in the long, because Netflix is probably like, let's just give them 5, just give them just to tease them, and then all the big shit is gonna be in the second part. So now, because people are gonna say like, oh, this is a failure. It's got so much buzz around it, and I even made a joke about it. This is the most He-Man's has ever been like relevant in how many years, but people are going to watch part 2. I think Netflix that's what they're thinking. Like, people are just going to flock to part 2 and stuff and whatnot, which I think it's going to happen. Depending on
Kevin Smith is right, because I know about this. He-Man's conceptual art actually was close to Conan the Barbarian. That's why they changed his hair to blonde. Actually, fun fact, kids, you can look it up. But He-Man's design was based on Conan.
But yeah, I think that's just what Netflix was kind of looking at. Like, because people could say that they're not going to watch part 2, but like, bro, like, people going to watch part 2. They're going to watch part 2. Like, it's going. I think it's going to be bigger than. I think it's going to be bigger than part 1. Like, I think it's definitely going to, just how I think it might be divisive, or it might just, I feel like the narrative's going to probably change. Who knows? But it's going to, because like I said, I am not a fan of this shit. But when I was watching, I was like, damn, I want to see what happens next. And that's all you have to really do with those types of shows. So like, as long as like there's people out there that just want more, that's all that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And see, that's why I wanted to do this, because I want people to see I'm giving a fair opinion. This isn't me trying to go with the popular opinion or not. I'm just pointing out what I see, and I want to separate my 2 reviews. I'm doing the controversy tonight, and then I'm going to actually review the show, probably with you if you want to come on later. What's up, Justin?
Fucking hate this dipshit on the left.
Yeah, dude. He was
I don't know who he was.
That's your variant.
Okay, yeah, that's funny. That was a good one. That's
good. I got you.
I mean, in terms of the rambling, like I've had ramblings that have made more coherent sense than this guy and have taken less time. I mean, this guy, and here's the problem that I had earlier while I was driving. You guys didn't say a word. We had to suffer through this guy's incoherent ramblings. On and on he goes. And what is the point of it? What is he trying to say? What is his message?
That was my
the one guy, the Okra guy, is comparative to Jar Jar, and Jar Jar can be redeemed, okay, but he just takes way too fucking long to get to the point. I mean, my God. And this is the first time where I'm like, hey, Kevin, interrupt this asshole. Cut off his mic at some point. Lead him off the stage. Like, Jesus, Kevin. Kevin, I know you ramble on and on forever, but, at least, like, you're okay. But sometimes. But, like, come on. Like, when I'm seeing something, hey, Kevin Smith and whoever, I expect Kevin Smith to be talking the most and not this guy for 30 minutes.
I know, man. I was trying to get to his statements, and I'm like, holy fuck, what
statements? What statements?
Oh, I'm going to get to Yeah, I'm gonna get to where he starts. Now he's going to get into the backlash. That's what I really wanted to cover. So,
okay, so you're telling me that you watched this previously, right?
Yeah,
and you knew that he was going on this
inco.
incoherent rant. You knew he was going to do it, and you just let it happen so we could all suffer.
Well, welcome to the Phantom Zone.
I fucking hate you right now. I mean, you could have said something. Oh my god!
I can't have my mic on because right now my headset broke. So yeah, I don't have any pairs of headphones right now. So I'm just using my computer mic. So I got to mute myself so people don't get feedback. And that's why, like, I wanted to say something a couple of times, like, hurry the fuck along. What does this have to do? Dude, like, okay, there's promoting the show.
I ain't got a problem with it.
But
he's doing a really terrible job at it.
Like, he's like, oh, I went to day camp and we were talking about, it's like, bro, okay, what does day camp have to do with you getting from, just get to the fucking point. Okay, you went through a lot of shit. People liked you. You got the part. I mean, could we get Lena Headey? I'd listen to her talk all day. I don't care what she's talking about. The British Lena Headey.
Okay, and this asshole has been in no movies that I've ever seen.
No, I've heard in The Tick, which was I've
heard of Draft Day, I guess. What's The Tick? I've never heard of that.
It's like
so he's in a bunch of shit that no one has seen. Okay, cool.
I wouldn't say that. Tick has one of the biggest cult followings, man. I grew up.
If you've seen the poster or like any art from it, you'd be like, oh, that cartoon.
Yeah, you'd know if you see it.
Okay.
But anyways,
all right, and also,
this is the juicy stuff. You came in just on time because I want a full panel's opinions because this is where we get to see how corporations feel about us, and you're gonna be shocked. And spoiler alert, no, you won't. I've been saying this shit for years, but
also, just one quick note. I just noticed that this guy was born in 1989 after this series the original series had ended. The fuck does he know about this shit?
Yeah, I mean, I was born in 84 and I was like a year behind because when I was born, the show was basically wrapping up. So I was more with the 2002, but I went back through the 80s show and I used to watch them. They had them on reruns and then I watched them on the Hanna-Barbera network.
I was born in the 90s. I had the best cartoons, so I don't know nothing about this.
90s too, Perp.
I had the best cartoons.
We had the same cartoons. I agree. We had fucking Yu-Gi-Oh and Dragon Ball Z in the same block.
I'm just wondering, has he even did he even watch it? Does he really care about it? I mean, no wonder this show is not very well received because Kevin's surrounding himself with dipshits like him. He won't shut up. I mean, I'm sorry, he won't shut up. I swear to God. Hey, Mega J
says 80s are the best. Guys. I mean, man,
I disagree.
What was the best? 90s or before?
Hey, Sherry, I am with you. 84 was the best. We're on that. Like, when I went into the 90s, I caught more of the 90s, but I knew about the 80s because my mom came from other than that. So one of the first bands I ever heard was Steppenwolf. And then
the DC villain?
Oh no, the band.
The band Steppenwolf.
That's a terrible band name.
Well,
there's some really shitty band names. Like, it's just like, how y'all, the Beatles? Like, come on. Anyways,
why is that a shitty band name?
I mean, you can call yourself the Partridge Family and still be a good band.
Oh, stop it. Come on.
Anyways, let's get back to this because here's where it gets spicy.
No, don't, please. This is so much more fun. Oh.
But in a perfect world, they were released all 10. And I'm not saying that would have assuaged everybody. There would definitely be some people that are still
first
like,
5 episodes,
you fucking suck.
You're kind of clicking up the roller coaster.
But
the last 5
if we had done all 5, then the thing that everyone's crying about the most, or we're like, where the fuck is, like, this has been the only thing that's frustrating to me. I don't mind if people are like, you fucking suck and it sucks. Like, I'm used to that. But in some ways, it just feels like some of these people have never seen a TV program or a movie ever.
Well, this is the
because
thing.
the idea of like of Orko.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to telegraph anything,
Yeah.
but just bear with me, kids. If you watch that episode 4 with Orko, and we see what Orko does and stuff, it is very close to another magic figure in fiction who also gives his life in a very important moment in the story.
Orko literally says the same line, go back to your shadows.
Does anybody know what character that is? Absolutely.
And he stayed dead forever,
yes,
right?
because once Gandalf died, that shit was
That
over.
was done.
Okay. I'm going to have to stop you there. Gandalf's sacrifice is different than Orko's, okay? I'm going to have to stop you right there. I don't see the connection between fucking Lord of the Rings and this show, because Gandalf had, like, the first movie, The Hobbit, and then the second movie was where he died. And there was logistical reasons. And granted, this had reasons too. I'm not going to get into it until I do my review. But I don't think that you could say it's the same fucking thing. Come on, Kevin. Come on.
Gandalf, like, I think that whole resurrection is one of the few instances where, resurrecting a character from the dead actually worked. And I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. Most of the time, it's just like a cheap cop-out.
Yeah, Dragon Balls.
We're not talking about a resurrection. He's specifically talking about comparing the way the two died. It's completely different circumstances.
Did he have a cool line like "Fly, you fools" or anything?
No, but he did have a pretty boss line. I'm not gonna lie. Like Orko does. To me, he got a pretty good line and a very cool image. You know what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah.
He
that
did prove how fucking powerful of a character he was. I'll give him that. But this, like, backtracking, like, dude, just if it stands on its own, that's the thing that pisses me off about creators doing these things. They feel like they got to put things adjacent to something. It's like, no, just let your art speak for itself. That's my problem with today. It's like, the posturing and being defensive, and Perp, I understand your point because you said it before. Why shouldn't they be able to say something back? I understand that. Yeah, it's not cool having people shit all over your project. But at the same time, if you're a director or a writer nowadays, it's going to happen. I'll give you a perfect example. John Carpenter. Most people don't know this, but do you guys realize his only actual critical hit is Halloween? Every other movie has been shitted on until recently. The Thing was a flop. Critics panned it. It gained a cult following. In the Mouth of Madness, the Lord of Shadows, that trilogy was all critically panned. Ghost of Mars, Vampires, those are movies now that are cult classics. But when they came out, people shit all over them. John Carpenter never came out and said, fuck you guys, whatever. He's like, I made a movie. That's my art. You like it? Fine. You don't? Fine. And people wound up appreciating it later. And it could have been one of those things. But when you come out and you attack the base that you are catering to, it's a bad look.
But who attacked who first, though?
He did. I showed the tweet in the beginning of the thing. He could have said nothing, Perp. He could have said nothing and said, wait till it came out. He literally... I mean, it's on.
Did he call whoever?
Yes, Clownfish TV, and they're good people. I know their channel. They don't. Just,
I know, but did he call them any malicious names or anything like that? Or
I don't malicious names to be sarcastic, asshole. It's the way you put things in context.
I mean, but like at the same time, though, Zod, we all grown ass people. We always throw shots at each other. Like we do that all the time. Like you know what I'm saying? It's not that serious. I don't think it's that deep. That's just me.
You know what? I agree with Perp. You know, Kevin didn't, you know, make any direct insults at Clownfish. I mean, you can, you know, interpret it however you want, but yeah, it was a, you know, douchey thing to say, I suppose. Just you know, like, he is the showrunner, he would know, but then at the same time, didn't he sort of mislead people? And
Yeah,
what he said. Yeah, and that was what people were upset about. He didn't, you know, call Clownfish TV, you know, an asshole, but didn't he call himself a clown ass or something weird like that? He retweeted it a while ago.
That's such a Kevin.
That's Kevin for me.
That's trolling. Kevin Smith being Kevin Smith. When has he never just done that though? Like he's always like nothing's changed about him. He's always been the same.
Nothing has changed at all.
Well, crying
nothing.
Star Wars is
besides him losing weight.
No, he's changed
yeah.
quite a bit.
Well, honestly,
I followed Kevin Smith his whole career, right from Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Clerks 2, Jay and Silent Bob, Strike Back, Jay and Silent Bob get a reboot. I've seen them all, like, and you know, Clerks 3, I will probably, depending on how the trailer looks, I don't know. I think it should honestly end at Clerks 2 because that was a great conclusion. Kind of was running out of steam during that.
They're most likely going to review bomb that too before it come out.
Come on, let's not go into the review bomb. I think that's bullshit. You can't review bomb. If we go into that, let's talk about Captain Marvel. I was there during that.
No, it's done.
We should just expect that with certain movies now. Just expect that.
Look, if people are upset about something and they don't want to see it, let them say, "I don't want to see it." Like,
exactly.
No, I'm not interested. Yeah, it's a Rotten Tomatoes problem, really. You know, then
again, why are people rating stuff on Rotten Tomatoes like it matters anymore? Anyways,
it only matters to them when it's convenient.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the way they've always used that aggregate. Although it's kind of funny, and I'm going to talk about M. Night Shyamalan, but the critic score and the user score was that even. Wow, oh man, poor Shyamalan. That movie wasn't even that bad.
The movie Old or something.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that
it was really good. People, I think that now they just hate him just to hate him. It's so ridiculous, but.
Well, he was on a good track with it. Then he fucked it up.
Well, yeah, with Glass that was garbage, but then this movie was pretty good. I liked it. I did. It took a while to get to where it was going, but it was pretty terrifying. There were some things I never needed to see, but it's. Whatever. And anyways, I'm going to still see Captain Marvel too, because I've got a love-hate relationship with Brie Larson.
Yeah, she's going to look hot. She's going to have butt pads. She's going to look right. She's going to get a Brazilian butt lift. Watch.
She's going to look better than Kamala Khan. Oh. Kamala Khan just turned, what, 11? They're gonna cancel me for that. Anyways, let's continue. It gets more interesting.
Oh God.
So anybody like watching, like I can't, like there's a guy who was just like, you're a fucking like terrible storyteller because you killed off Orko forever. And I'm like, forever, bro, have you ever seen one of these fucking things?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh my God. I was like, and even within the first 5 episodes, someone dies. 2 people fucking die.
Yeah.
They come back. Even the tree guy fucking comes back. Like, so at that point, you're like, are you fucking serious? Or are you just denying reality? Like,
I saw
do you think, here, even better,
yes.
Do you think Mattel, I'd walk in, I was like, you know what I want to do? Kill Orko. Yeah.
Done. Money.
Yeah. Do you know what they would do? There's the door, silent bill. You know, like, And again, people are like, "Oh man, this is the fucking Tila show and stuff." Like, yes, as I said from the beginning, Tila plays a very prominent part in it and stuff. And if you follow closely and read between the lines, you see where we're going with it. We're continuing the classic story that they began years ago.
Episode 6 of the fucking show is Tila's quest. If I can drop some fucking receipts
episode
here.
6 of
Original
He-Man and the
Filmation.
Masters of the
Correct.
Universe. Yeah.
It's called Tila's Quest.
What happens in that episode? Written by Paul Dini. What happens
that
in that
episode? 6 out of fucking 200. I mean, they made so many episodes of that show within 2 years, right?
Yeah.
6 front loaded. The very beginning of the thing is about Tila's backstory and her destiny, which is she is adopted. Man-at-Arms is not her biological father.
You know.
I'm talking about a thing that happens
I'm not
in
putting for a
that
fucking sequel.
filmation.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying.
Wait,
but-
what did he
but-
just
but-
say?
but-
What did he just say?
Absolutely.
And he stayed dead forever,
Yes,
right?
because once Gandalf died, that shit was
That
over.
was done.
You went way
Okay.
too far back.
Dude, there's the door, Silent Bill. You know, like,
Okay.
and
That's-
again, people
that's
are
good
like,
enough.
"Oh man, this is the fucking Tila show and stuff." Like, yes, as I said from the beginning, Tila plays a very prominent part in it and stuff. And if you follow closely and read between the lines, you see where we're going with it. We're continuing the classic story that they began years ago. But
Episode 6 of the fucking show is Tila's quest. If I can drop some fucking receipts
episode
here.
6 of
Original
He-Man and the
Filmation.
Masters of the
Correct.
Universe. Yeah.
It's called Tila's Quest.
What happens in that episode? Written by Paul Dini. What happens
that
in that
episode?
Okay.
6 out of fucking 200. I mean, they made so many episodes of that show within 2 years, right?
Yes.
6 front loaded. The very beginning of the thing is about Tila's backstory and her death.
Okay, I just want to stop them right there because I know that episode. That is like a flashback kind of thing into a storyline that was prominent through the series. It was a subplot. It had nothing to do with the central point of the fucking show. It was just giving context to something that was dropped later about Tila's lineage. That's not the same fucking thing. That was character development because for a couple of years she'd been with He-Man. She is a sidekick. And there were things dropped here and there. That episode was just to illuminate more. It's called plot development. That's not the same fucking thing. That's a bad comparison. One whole episode dedicated to a person does not equate 2 or 3.
I could see what he was talking about as far as because like a lot of TV shows do that. Like even look at Power, right? You remember like the last few episodes, all the last 5 episodes were literally like pilot episodes or like setting something up for a future series or something in the future of that universe or something. So that's probably what he's talking about. Like that episode 6 is kind of continuing what they're doing in Revelations is continuing that story.
And then trying to make it adjacent to this new one. But in the original one, like you said, it had a different function. It was to set up for a storyline with Tila where I was actually kind of annoyed. And look, everybody who's bitching that she'll be the Sorcerer's daughter, that was always set up since the fucking 80s and 2000 and 2000.
No, like I said, like that's why I heard that's where this is going to pretty much going to be like the end.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing
end
too.
game for that.
Like
but a lot of people I think are upset that they're thinking that Tila is going to have the sword and be the new master of the universe. That's what I think a lot of people are upset about and thinking that's why they're saying like, oh, this is Tila's show.
No, they're saying it because she's highlighted a majority of it. And yes, Perp, I know there's flashbacks of He-Man in it. We both watched the show all the way through, but it's still the feeling that she's leading the episode. I mean, even in the one where they go to heaven, I mean, come on, she did make Adam look ridiculous in that. He trips and falls. I get it. He's not He-Man in heaven. He chose to do his human form instead of He-Man. But still, it comes off and appears disingenuous to the character. I refuse to believe he has no attributes when he's not He-Man. Yes, he's vulnerable. Yes, he doesn't have the strength and can't jump 50 gajillion miles. That was all He-Man and the sword. I get that. But he's a human being. It's structured. You know, he reaches the guy first. Like, I mean, come on. That's a little
That's a
bit.
that's a bit of a reach. I don't really like that. Doesn't bother
It's
me.
shown
Like
in the
see, it's little
cartoon,
things like
though.
that. Be like, oh, that's woke. See, they're what they call it, emasculating He-Man right there. It was like, bro, that's a reach, bro.
It's not.
She's literally built for this. He's just human.
She's just human too.
But I'm saying, like, she has like a whole military background. He's just a human.
Yeah, but
Without
he's the
just the
king's
sword.
son
Without the
who
sword, he's
is
just a human.
training with her on the off time. They were so close because she was training him and stuff for his role to take over for the king. That's why the king was always so disappointed. And when He-Man showed up, he's like, man, I wish I could have him in my army. You know what I mean? Because that's what he imagined someone ruling. So I get all of that. But what I'm saying is it's how you set things up. You could have had a little pushback, maybe have her stumble, make it even. That fucking contest was not even at all.
Now in that scene where they go into heaven, if it was like, if they did pull a Ray and said like, oh, she knew how to get out of there without any of their helps, because like they had, you know what I'm saying? It was the dude, what's his name, Grayskull? Like he's the one that had to lead them to get out of there. She didn't get out of there by themselves.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think she's a Mary Sue. I think she's poorly written, and I think that they got the tone of her character wrong, which is a different thing. I've seen her, I mean, even in that second episode, man, remember, she doesn't beat those things by herself. She gets wrapped up and almost killed in that throne room. She has to be helped by her sidekick. So, I mean, there's struggle there. She's not written like a Ray. It's not a Ray situation. The problem I hear a lot, and I agree, it's the personality. And they've adopted the personalities perfectly except for her. They literally adopted everybody's original show personality exactly. He-Man, Skeletor, them, but for some reason tweaked hers.
What about her personality don't you like?
The way she acts, man. She's a bitch. And she was never like that. And look, I understand loss and how grief can affect you or whatever else. But the is like a Daenerys switch. There's no lead up to it. And I agree with some people. If you did a season before that kind of showed her sort of having these doubts and things like that, then it would have been a better setup. But when you just throw a character in and their traits don't match, and you're saying it's a continuation, right? That means you're continuing the way their personalities were and maybe changing it through the story. But it's too much of a dramatic shift. There has to be a little bit of an arc, and that's just good fucking storytelling. You need to have an arc and a reason for why someone's personality shifts so quickly. And I know this because from writing and stuff, I do a writing show on here. A character has to have a character arc. I understand her arc, and I do understand, like, towards the end of it, she kind of changes, but then she kind of doesn't, because then she backpedals at the last episode, and it's just her central attitude seems to be just bitch, and for no reason. Like, bro, I don't get it. Your friend dies, and you're mad about nobody told you.
That's another scene where I feel like people like misinterpret it. Like, of course, like I don't think because a lot of people can look at that scene in different ways. I know you don't want to get into it right now, whenever you do your review and stuff and whatnot. But I didn't see that. Like I said, like I feel like people were just looking for things to just nitpick about certain things that just weren't really there.
Oh, I'm not looking. And look, like I said, I'm doing it objectively, and people might be surprised by my score because I don't think it's a fucking 2 or 3. I think people are being just petty with that. I don't think it's a 9 or a 10 either. Unless you're talking animation and sound by itself, then yeah, I'd put it in the 9 or 10. But the story is 4 or 5 at best.
Let me give you an example. Try not to spoil it, but there was a part, another Attack on Titan reference, but there was a part where a certain character died, and Aaron kind of laughed about it. And people, even people was like, why would Aaron laugh about that? Like, that's your, you know what I'm saying? But that's his way of kind of like coping with things. And you know, I can understand because we can all say like, yeah, like she should have done this or done that, but like everybody kind of acts differently with grief or just a death and stuff. Some people just don't feel any emotion at all for it.
I've gone through death. I'm sure people have lost people here in the chat. Okay, I understand, but I don't know, and maybe just me personally in that situation, I wouldn't have at that moment. I probably would have been more devastated that my friend is a literal like ash spot and worried about the logistics later.
I
think the king going off on Man at Arms was garbage too. Like, I understood it, and that was probably more justified than Tila, but that was a little off too. Like, yo, bro,
because she obviously had feelings for what Adam. But like keeping that secret and stuff, like I can understand why, because you're dealing with all this stuff. You're getting you're there to get celebrated and stuff, and now your best friend or like somebody that you really care for just dies, and you find out this person had this whole secret and stuff, and nobody told you about it. Because that's another thing. Like people knew about it besides her. Like there's people that knew about it besides her, and it's just like what the hell. And I can understand that it's completely justifiable.
But the reason why they never told her or the king was because if Skeletor ever knew, he would just take out He-Man when he was in his regular form. And that makes sense. That's like people see, that's my problem with every other show. Like take Arrow, for instance. How many damn people know his secret? It's like any one of them people get captured and they would know who Arrow was. Or, you know, even Batman at a point had like all of these different people who knew he was Batman, right? Mm-hmm. Or the Bat family who knew he was Batman. And it's like, so they kept it in a small group. I don't, logistically, that makes sense.
And it's like, how many people in Eternia have blonde hair and shit? Like, how do you not know that's like?
I know. That's the other thing. Like
where do you think Adam went?
Muscle.
They don't got no phone booths in Eternia. Not that I know of, but or restrooms. You know what I'm saying? They never. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. People think too. I feel like it just when people definitely with like cartoons and stuff, like people try to use too much logic with shit when it's just like it's not that deep. It's not that deep.
Yeah, but look, they're going for that kind of tone, and that's another thing. If you're going for the insightful, deep kind of thing, and you could tell this is a different kind of a thing. And I mean, I did like a lot of stuff that they did, but I also didn't like a lot of stuff, and the Tila thing hit me close to home. And look. Like I said, I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. Love her. Call me. But I mean, you know, but in this iteration, like just using her regular voice does not work, man. Took me out of it every time she talked. All I heard was Sarah Michelle Gellar. And that's a problem too. When you're voice acting, you ain't got to switch it up much. But people shouldn't hear the person that's voice acting the character. You know what I mean? Even with Evil Lynn. I was like, she's doing all right. Like, if you've never seen Game of Thrones, you would know that was Lena Headey. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And even then, it was kind of hard to tell, except for the whole British thing. But I mean, because she's got a very distinct accent. But I mean, like, you know, she did a pretty good job. I mean, same thing with Mark. I could hear the Skeletor, just not when he laughed. The laugh threw me off because I was like, yo, that's Joker. But
his Skeletor is like, I fuck with it. I was just like, it's very menacing. Yes, it's like the Joker, but like, who cares? That shit's dope still. Like, why is that a bad thing?
I agree with you. I don't have a problem with that because the Joker's a villain. Skeletor's a villain. For me, it works. It's not like it's
his one-liners are hilarious. Like just the way he's fighting people, when he's fighting and just like cracking jokes, like or just saying some type of dialogue or some shit. It's fucking dope. It was really dope. I was like, damn, yo, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah, getting back to fuck. I keep on forgetting that.
I'm about to hop out in like 10 minutes though. I'll keep watching.
Which is she is adopted. Man at Arms is not her biological father. You know. I'm talking about a thing that happens.
I know,
in
but if we're
that
fucking sequelizing, shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying.
But in any event,
No,
what
but
he's saying
I'm
and
saying
what
this-
he's oversaying and
I'm
getting us in
saying-
fucking
I'm
trouble
saying to your
is.
defense is you're not pulling this out of your ass. That's been there for 40
his
years.
point is that like we didn't fucking create anything new. One of the things that we did
From
was
the very beginning.
let's find the most interesting storyline, and this storyline was interesting.
It was there the
tied
whole
into the
time.
storyline we wanted to
it's
do.
been
We
Yeah,
on
had
the
Zod, that's
table.
where I
on,
wanted you to
or
pause
go
it and say,
up.
like, yeah, he just told him to shut the fuck up, and he should have said that an hour ago.
Going as your fucking character. What we were trying to do, of course, was the key to telling an extended He-Man story. If we were telling He-Man episodics like they did with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, everything just resets at the end of the episode. Obviously, we're telling one long episode that's chopped into stories, chopped into chapters. The key to the story is basically it's keep away. You have to keep away with the sword. Like whoever gets the fucking sword becomes the master of the universe. So in order to make an interesting story, the first thing you do is take the most powerful man in the universe and try to fucking keep the sword away from him. How we do it in episode 1 is he gives his fucking life. He sacrifices his life. Now, I've been accused of lying for saying that I'm like He-Man does no stepping aside. If He-Man giving his life for the entire universe is stepping aside, then Tony Stark stepped aside. Jesus Christ stepped.
It's facts though.
No, that's a terrible comparison.
That's a
wait a
justified
minute.
comparison.
Wait,
Skeletor, when he cracked the thing, the chick literally said, like, yo, this explosion is going to kill everybody. And with He-Man, that's why I was like, damn, this motherfucker's OP. And he had to stop that. Nobody else could do that. Not Tila. Not nobody else, not the chick, you know what I'm saying? It was He-Man.
It's semantics though.
You can even make the comparison to like when Goku first got killed and stuff, and when Raditz first came to the planet, like, you know what I'm saying?
saying his comparisons are stupid because it doesn't make sense. Tony Stark didn't just die for other characters. That was the end game. That's literally the title of the fucking
He kind of did die for everybody else.
it's the last movie, or at least the last one that matters. These are different. These sound like they're completely different situations, like entirely. And I don't know why he's bringing up Jesus,
because they're all like self-sacrifice. That was the most unselfish thing that Tony did. It is.
Well, I'm not trying to take away from that. I'm just saying, like, it sounds like, they're talking about the beginning of a series as opposed to an end to one, which that's where that would make more sense unless, they bring this character back to life, whatever. I haven't seen it, but this is just what it's sounding like to me. And it doesn't make sense the way he's saying it. Now, you guys having watched it, I understand, that you have a different perspective than I do, and maybe I'm missing something, but I'm just going off of what I said. What was being said. Sorry.
So good.
Hey, comics chat. I'm glad you're here in the chat, but no, I'm saying it's semantics and comics chat. I'm saying what he's comparing it to doesn't make sense. We were talking about the end of a saga versus the first episode of a brand new show.
But
that's
this is
the point. There was no lead up to it.
But if this is the end or like the final chapter of whatever thing that they're adapting, then it makes sense though, like because it's called Revelations. Like that's not
no, not in the
Revelations. First... Revelations isn't in the beginning of the Bible.
You know what? It's also fictional, but you know what? That's regardless. I don't know. I think the point is slightly being missed. Where like if this is the last chapter in the overall franchise until they want to milk it again in 30 years or whatever.
There's a movie coming out soon.
Oh, okay. Well, then that should be the final chapter then. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Like why would it happen in episode 1?
That's what I'm saying.
That still hasn't been answered. Like, does it make sense what we're saying, Perp?
No, because like I don't know, maybe because I've seen this before. Like I've seen characters die in like the first few episodes, and like this is nothing new to me. So that's why I said, like, when people say like, "Oh, you killed your main character in the first episode," like, so it's like, as long as it's done right, then.
Better comparison. Game of Thrones, the first season, they killed Ned Stark at the end of the season. Now, it would have been weird if they killed Ned Stark at the beginning of the season because of the role that he plays in the show. Story-wise, it wouldn't have made sense.
Yes, and you were so right. And he also has top billing, if I recall. He had top billing. So if you kill him off in episode 2, it's like, why the fuck did he have top billing? Why was he advertised as one of the main characters? Made no sense. Comic
But like
chat.
I said,
It's not the same.
Not the first.
Comics chat. Thanos
Not
had...
the same. It's the context, dude. No. Also, last movie. It was the last movie, and different. This is
he
different.
He won in Infinity War. He won. Thanos won. So that's not even the same comparison. He had won in the first movie, beat everyone, and essentially he still is a winner in the beginning of the 20 minutes of Endgame. He's a winner all the way up till they do, time travel, because we all love that.
Because they had to cheat, but they didn't get melted. No.
Yeah, so it's not the same, and that's what we're saying. That proves my point, is that
Agree to disagree, but it's whatever. Because I think his point is just self-sacrificing. Because that's what he did.
Everybody likes to point out, this came out how many years ago? No one remembers. I get what you guys are saying. You could actually have killed him off in the first episode, but nobody remembers the 80 and 2002 or 2003 and how those left off. So you have to have at least an episode or two lead in to kind of set up maybe a couple of quick battles here and there to set up the rivalry for people just fucking walking in. And then you can do something like that. That's cool, fine, whatever. That would make it compelling. But it's a little just throws you off. And like Proper said, marketing. The way it's marketed is like everything else is marketed. They push the He-Man up front, just like with Star Wars, who they push up even with the sequels. Luke, Han. You see where I'm going with this?
It still is not a big deal though. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just.
No, you're right. We should agree to disagree because I don't know, like, because you don't have that much time left. So
yeah,
we could talk about that some other time, but it's all right.
Step aside, like. It's a messianic moment, and if you follow, classic literature, the hero's arc, bless you, it's where the hero has to go. Eventually, you have to sacrifice your life for some greater cause than yourself. No greater fucking sacrifice than that. So with us, we were like, okay, we don't have the benefit of just resetting every episode. We're telling one long episode and whatnot, and let's try to tell a story about what happens when people who thought they knew things find out they were fucking lied to while we're playing keep away with the sword. So the first 5 that everybody could see, to me, maybe because I know the back 5 and I'm in the back 5, the first 5 I haven't dealt with in months. They've been done and sitting there. We're still dealing with back 5 right now and stuff. But the point of the first 5, of course, is to set up the next 5. It's an arcing story that goes like this. And there's when folks are going oh man, you fucking, what's the word, they emasculated He-Man. I'm by making him sacrifice himself to save all of Eternia, that's not sidelining, or he's not stepping aside. That's heroic. That's the point of a hero and stuff.
Right, he didn't go, too hot for me. Where's the exit? It's
exactly.
I also feel like to come to your defense, the thing that frustrates me so much about this,
oh God, please don't go back to this guy.
People are coming up, knocking on your door and saying is it true that this happens in episode 4? fucking 9 months before the show comes out. Well, how are you supposed to answer that question? You want people to watch the thing in real time. You want to see the story unfold. You don't want to preload those expectations. You got to get tricky with your words to be able to weave around these traffic cones. And
I
it's
didn't even think I was tricky with the words. I literally said, Tila does no stepping aside.
I think you were, yeah.
She has a friend who's a girl, but not a girlfriend. She does not wield this sort of power. I'll just tell you right now, man. Fucking, this is another spoiler. Netflix can be like, shut your fucking mouth. But she never wields the sword ever in any of the episodes.
That's
like, so everything
there you
I
go.
said was like God's honest fucking truth. And a bunch of people are like, you better apologize for lying. I'm like, I didn't lie. All of those things are fucking factually true.
But it's like rolling up to George Lucas and going like, why haven't you acknowledged that Darth Vader is Luke's father? And he's like, it's 1975. Slow your roll. I haven't shot the first one
Bad
yet.
comparison. I really hate this.
No, wait. What?
You know, the folks have
What? It's not 1975. You fucking idiot. Oh my, you know, I don't have. No, I don't have time for this dipshit. Keep going.
70s was another bad era. Continue.
You're okay to be wrong. It's fine.
Apologize to Clownfish. Clownfish was the operation that website and video show and stuff, whatever it is. And I'm not dismissing it. I have to be so fucking careful because anything I say, they're like, you're attacking Clownfish, and I'm like, not at all. I've always been very fucking kind to Clownfish. But regardless, Clownfish, the people are saying you lied to Clownfish. You got to apologize. And I honestly fucking believe, with my heart, I put my child's life on it. None of those things I said are fucking lies. They're all factual shit. I will apologize for like leaning into it and tweeting and then hitting it again, tweeting again later on, simply to obfuscate from what I felt like was the thing I didn't want anyone to know. Same day that Clownfish's tweet goes up, there's some other tweet that said something to the effect, and again, we're spoiling the show, so hopefully everyone's seen it, that said something to the effect of, I hear they kill Adam in episode 1. So right then and there, I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're like fucking months away from this thing coming out. If this out's like, oh man, that's going to suck. And not because I'm like, oh, they'll all hate me and shit for emasculating He-Man. More because like I just didn't want to spoil what was.
They'll all hate me for.
That. I mean, they're putting the spoilers.
Can you just admit to it?
Please,
So,
yes, internet.
While I was sitting there going like, oh shit, they're going to start talking about this. Over here is a conversation that I can address. Like that's like where they're like, hey man, I hear He-Man steps aside. Tila, you know, has a girl. All the things I said. So I was like, I can answer this and maybe take attention away from this over here. And mercifully, that never got louder. Yeah. Like nobody ever knew. So that when the first episode played for people, they were surprised. Yeah. So I hope. I mean, some far too surprised and very vocal about it on Twitter. Which, like, again, I understand. Like, I'm a fan of things. I don't get that vocal if somebody does a thing that I don't care for and stuff like that. Like it
never happens.
I didn't care for the Showtime sequel years later.
He just cries about it, literally.
What the fuck, David Lynch? You ruined my childhood and shit like that. It's just like, generally for me, you'll never hear about the shit that I don't like. That's just kind of the way like I operate and stuff. But as a fan of things, I understand what people like. It's not what I fucking wanted it to be and stuff, and that's absolutely fair. I'm a man of peace. I don't like fighting with fucking people. It so irritates me that this is going on, that there is a contingency of people. And mind you, like we're talking about it like it's everything and stuff. It's a very vocal contingency that I pointed out. Like at one point I talked to my Netflix friends and I was like, I mean, did you see this? Like, are we in trouble? And they were very kind, and this is not meant to mock anybody, but they were like, Kevin, do you think we decide to pick up other seasons of shows based on the audience rating of Rotten Tomatoes? And I was like, you don't? And they're like, fuck no. And so at that point, like, it didn't matter. And then, I mean, this like is here. I'm like, this ain't me being smarmy. I know someone's going to paint it otherwise and shit like that. This is just me being honest. If you don't like something, kids, don't fucking talk about it. Yeah. Because when you draw attention to it, somebody else does that.
That's facts.
So there was an article.
Wait.
Articles, right?
That's facts.
I was on Up Rocks.
Wait, so if we don't like something, we just don't say anything at all? Are we really going to that old metaphor? If you have nothing nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all? Is it that kind of thing? Like,
No, I agree because I can make an example. Like, look at somebody like Tekashi 6ix9ine. Nobody likes him, but everybody still gives him attention. But
who
now
the hell is
everybody just
that?
kind of ignores him, and he just kind of fades away. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, bad press. Pretty much nowadays, like, bad press is good press. You know what I'm saying?
It's like any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I said, like, people are saying that this is a failure, but y'all are just giving this shit more attention. Now it's number 6 on Netflix and shit, like, and just everybody's talking about it.
My opinion on this is that the way there are a lot of people who will use this, and it's YouTube for us to get that jump off, yes. But I don't agree with the part that you shouldn't be able to say your displeasure with something.
No. You could definitely, you know what I'm saying? But, just continuously doing it.
Is?
Oh, you're right. That's, it's sort of like how all of us talked about The Last Jedi for 2 years.
4 years now.
No, well, every time, that's why I don't bring up the sequel trilogy anymore. It's done. It's over. There's nothing I can do about it. It sucks. I hate it. It's done, So I get that, but so you're talking about just overdoing it and talking about it giving it too much attention.
Yeah, because it's like when you make when you make 5,000 videos about one person, it's just like, what else do you have to offer? Like that's all you're about, like. Yeah,
like how much more can you?
It almost feels like a gimmick.
For me, the preference I say it depends on the topic. Planet Q's Queen, the Amber Heard situation is different because that's an actual court case that has.
That's still a thing. Ain't wrapped that shit up yet.
Yeah, I'm a part of that, but no, that's on domestic violence and some serious stuff. Like that's a different kind of thing. Just like with the Nickelodeon thing and the pedophile thing, those things should all be addressed because those are things that hurt people.
That court case is going on longer than the OJ case. Goddamn.
That's because they had to delay it, because of zombie apocalypse. Jesus Christ. No, that we're talking strictly fandom and fandom speaking. Yes, at this point, there could be an argument that's just saying yes with all the negative. At this point, it's gotten to a point where both sides are overblowing it up for their own motives and reasons. But at the same time, the way it's said sounds to me like, oh, you shouldn't say anything to them at all because Netflix doesn't give a shit. And that's that's a bad business model because it feels like Netflix has gotten so big. This is actually their mentality. And that means that you put on a movie like Cuties and that's okay. Like, I mean, it sends it doesn't give customers a feeling as if they are being heard. And that's dangerous.
You talking about the Rotten Tomato thing?
No. I mean,
no. Well, I don't know why you're bringing up Cuties again. I mean, like, look, the one
because
thing
they didn't listen to anyone on that one either. That's my point.
Well, at least Netflix is consistent, and they allow people to, artists to do whatever the hell they want. I actually prefer that over Netflix deciding, all right, we're gonna cancel this, we're gonna get rid of it. Because you guys complained enough. No, just like if they're hardline about it,
it's buried that movie.
It's all. What's make or break on Netflix is depending on how many people view it. Like,
right,
there could be a show that's really good, but if not enough people watch it, Netflix will can it. That's how they just operate over there. That's just how they do this shit. Like, I've been paying attention to that like for years now.
Yeah, what's on the homepage right now is that Cobra Kai's on the front page right now. When I open it up, because it's gotten Emmy nominations. Finally, fucking finally,
it deserves it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk with you guys, but see, that's my whole thing. It's the way the company comes out. It's what they say. And look, you have great points, Perp. And that's why I wanted to bring you on, because unlike everybody else, I want to hit this from an objective standpoint and really pull out some facts. And at the end of the day, I do agree with you, but I also agree because I'm a fan with the fan side too. It's how it's sort of portrayed, Dean Jacobs, and how you tell people certain things, how you words are important. And Perp, this isn't the first person who's come out and tried to do damage control, and things have come off even worse. It's like, for instance, stuff that goes on we see in the Star Wars, right? The way they market shit is so terrible. But then you look at MCU, and when I seen that What If, I damn near said, I might have to fucking break my. No, I'm not going to. Not going to check it out. But it looks amazing. I'm not going to lie. It looks great. I'm not going to hate on it. It looks absolutely awesome.
So you're seriously not going to watch Spider-Man? No, that's probably the biggest movie of the year. You're not going to watch Spider-Man 3?
Nah, man. I'm tired of it, man. I've gone back to watching.
I just believe that's cap. I think he's got. Once you see that first trailer, I feel like you're gonna cave and you're gonna secretly buy a ticket and not let nobody know.
I haven't seen, dude. I've gotten to a point where I've kind of gone back and started appreciating films that are films like, I got to do a review on Pig, but like, stuff, different stuff. I'm tired. It's all become like the same thing for me. I need a change. Even with some DC stuff, man.
Watch more anime.
Dude, that goes without saying. I'm watching Beastars right now. Me and my girl are gonna do
everybody keeps bringing that up. I just don't know. It just looks weird. Like
it's weird. There's a stripper animal, but
wait, what is this shit again?
It's called Beastars. It's about carnivores and omnivores and how they're in the same school together. And then they compete for this title called Beastars, which like basically is the equivalent of you get to go to Harvard and lead and become like your top shit. And this wolf, Legacy, is the main character, and it's about his struggle of being a wolf, and everyone's afraid of him, and he tries to make friends, but he's got like a kind heart, and he likes the herbivores, and then he falls in love with a rabbit.
America could never come up with something so creative.
That's just crazy.
What the hell is this? Is this a cartoon?
Hey, Planet Q's Queen, don't bring Larson into this, all right? I didn't just...
You did that earlier. You did that earlier. You have no right to say that. No, you brought up Captain Marvel.
Look, Justin, I did not watch her yoga videos on repeat.
I did.
So what does that have to do with it? You brought it up.
No, it has nothing to do with it. I just wanted you to know I wasn't watching the yoga videos on repeat.
I did, with the volume all the way up.
Why do you have the volume up?
I mean, okay, whatever floats your boat, dude.
But no, see, I wanted to tackle this in two parts because I have a feeling a lot of people are not going to like my review. Because to be honest with you, I'm going to give it a fair review, Masters of the Universe. And I see a lot of people not taking out the typical Hollywood bullshit marketing and Netflix marketing that we should be used to by fucking 2021. It's the same shit they've done with everything. I don't know why we're surprised that they're assholes. I'm just going to judge it on the merits of the show. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of people that are bringing stuff up within the show. Yes, Blanca, I agree. She does more workouts than Amber Heard. But no, I think that, and I've gotten this from working with other people doing reviews. Zachary Leary, go check out his YouTube channel, Unknown Regions, because I'm on it and we do reviews for a bunch of movies. We did a Jon Favreau movie about cooking. We did the Dark Knight trilogy. So we've been really getting into it, and I'm starting to realize that I've gotten a lot away from judging something based and taking my personal feelings, because if I did that, I would be no different than the film critics, because they clearly rate things on money, and I don't want to be that way. If it fucking sucks, then I want to feel that it does. Like,
well,
but
yes,
if it's good.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, if it's good, then I got to give it a credit. And here's the thing, something with a sound design like that and animation, and it does have an intriguing story. Are things told to me a little bit ass backwards and could have been better? Yeah. But does it make it inherently bad because, the controversy? No. That's there. Let's be real. Let's get this out of the way. Tila is not a Mary Sue. Even if she takes
Far
the
from
lead,
it.
so what? She does have an arc. She does have a struggle. It's not like Ray. She has actual struggles that she has to go through. She doesn't win, and quite often somebody else saves the day. So she's not one of those characters. My only gripe is her personality doesn't work for me, and the voice actor. But then you take that out, like, I don't have a problem with Lockjaw. I didn't have a problem with Okra. I didn't have a problem with Skeletor, He-Man. All of those personalities were kept within the confines of the story. And I think that is a shame, that because there's this backlash, I don't feel like people are looking at it objectively, and they're looking at it through nostalgia. And yes, thank you, Lemon Pie. Come on, Kryptonian. I'm going to pronounce shit wrong. But
isn't okra a type of fish or something?
Okra?
Yeah.
You call it okra? Oh my god.
You know, feelings is the word. Thank you. Feelings. You got to take your Planet Q's Queen is on point. You got to take feelings out of this. Justin, can we agree that some of these reviews are just based on feelings? I mean, like,
here's the thing. This is something that that I had watched Siskel and Ebert talk about on their show. They were talking about how college students who are forced to write these essays, these reviews of movies, these analyses, if you will, and they're disappointed because they teach them how to be robots and to be objective. And the point of reviewing a movie is to tell how you felt, what was your experience watching the movie, how you felt. And that's one side of it. That's why one side of it, but there's also an objective truth to it. It's just like what actually technically works. Even though it didn't work for you, does it make sense even if you don't like it?
Exactly.
And that's if we're going this route, then it does make sense for someone to like The Last Jedi. If they didn't even like it, they're thinking about it objectively as a story, but they're also not taking into account the character backstory and how it makes no sense for them, etc. That's a little bit more complicated. But if someone did like it, and they did it objectively, in terms of like, does this make sense in the movie? Is it executed well? There's a nice balance to be had between the two, but it is very important to express how you felt and what you experienced. Like if you were bored out of your mind, and you should be able to say it, just like, hey, one of the funniest reviews Ebert ever wrote included the lines, "I hated this movie, hated this movie, hated it," in a publication, and it takes it. So part of it is important, but it shouldn't dictate the entirety of your review. So
exactly.
When you say, "Oh, it's just based on feelings," if it's solely based on that then you probably were, I don't know, maybe you spilled your popcorn or something and you were pissed. Like, it's just, you can't let that kind of shit affect you.
Will, what up, Will Gentry? And says, who has his drugs and how long will it take for them to get here?
Yeah, it's free shipping. Well, no, shipping ain't free. Fuck out of here.
Look, we have our own Netflix exact.
$100 shipping, you know what I'm saying? It'll be there.
Christ.
It'll be there when it be there,
No, but I see, and Perp, that's why I wanted you to come on, because I think we both can agree on one thing, even though even if we're going to massively disagree on story elements, we can both, and I think I have some pretty objective points. You have some,
and you know what? And you know what else? You know what else? We did it without calling each other names. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's got to be in a way where you could be objective and lay out points for your argument, and just saying, oh, well, it comes back to this, and this, and you misled me. Well, that's not a good argument, because like me and Comics Chat argued, it's semantics. They can be that can be argued both ways. So that's a wash, really, because both sides can argue both points. You're looking for the things in a review that can't be ignored. Like, was a line messed up? Was the camera work legitimately bad? Did it not fit within the story? Like, it throws the story off.
Yeah.
Let me give you another example, like Power Book 2, Ghost and shit. I absolutely despise that, but like, I want to kind of get out of the whole, because I want to see things for myself, and just, is it as bad as I think it's going to be? You know what I'm saying? Because going into it, I already knew I was like, I'm not going to like this. I still don't, because it's still like, there's still problems. But I think what a lot of people in their reviews and stuff, they point out the problems, but they don't offer any solutions. I'd be like, all right, this is how this would have been probably better. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to go ahead and say like, oh, Kevin Smith this, or credit writers don't know. Just say like, this is what I would have done. Just do like your own little rewrite or some shit. Just keep it moving.
Yeah. And I've seen some objective reviews that have come out with some good points that I didn't get, and then I've seen some fucking terrible reviews where it's just coming back to that whole chestnut. And honestly, I would just like to be the guy who comes at it from both angles and then gives you my personal opinion. Like, honestly, story-wise, I think it's a little uneven at parts, but I'm still curious to see part 2, because I want to see.
So that might change
it's going. Yeah, that could change my perspective. And that's my whole argument about not releasing all 10 parts. And what I hate about this format is when you only give people a part of a story, they can pick that apart. And here's the big thing that I'll be curious to see: the end and how people are going to react. Is it going to be a thing that if it is a good ending, people are going to do the creative team, or are they just going to say, well, it still fucking sucks, blah, blah, blah? Because if you do, then you're not objective to me, because then you're just trying to make your own point.
You know exactly. Never mind. There are some who are just going to continue, no matter what, the outrage narrative, and never give credit. And you know what pisses me off sometimes? Even friends of mine do this. Is that they will not for a second, say, like, when I say like, hey, even though we both hate The Last Jedi, what is one? I asked this many times. What is one good thing that came out of it? What is one thing that you liked, genuinely liked? And then people are like, the credits. I'm like, no, you fucking pussy. No, say something that you liked.
Right.
Say, there is something. There is at least. No, not a joke answer. I'm not talking about stupid, throwaway or cop-out joke answers. No, stop being a little bitch and just be honest, because it's disingenuous unless you really did hate every single moment of it. But when everybody in the goddamn community will say, oh, well, yeah, it was all garbage. Every single part of it. I'm like, no, you're lying. There is something, at least one thing that you're like, oh, that was pretty good, or that was a good moment. Stop, don't bullshit people.
Because what's going to start happening, and we kind of start to see it, like, people are going to start reviewing things and just, like, taking shortcuts and stuff. They'll hear something, they're like, all right, I'm just going to watch the first episode and just go to the last episode and shit like that. And that's like that.
That's what I heard.
Or they
watch. I'm not going to say any names, but that's what I heard on a panel recently with a review. They said they watched the first and the 5th episode, and right there you kill your credibility, because the in-between stuff, while you might not like it, while you might feel it's this way, it could add context. You can't just watch the first episode and the last episode and go, oh, yep, this is shit. Because
now, hold on. Now, if it's The Flash, then you probably could do that.
Well, I mean, but that's different. There's 20 episodes. I'm not watching all fucking.
No, I'm sorry. Flash is the new Aquaman. Like Aquaman used to be the character everybody hated, nobody liked, and now it's the Flash.
No, people still like the Flash.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I mean, there's nothing. Well, I guess movie Flash. I just can't stand Ezra Miller. I just can't. I think he's gonna turn it around, because it might just be direct. It might just be the direction. Say like it might be all. What's his name? Andy Muschietti, whatever.
Yeah, they might have good chemistry. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's a good point when you're talking about like.
We'll see, though.
Part of it is also separating, the actor from the character as well.
Because
the actor
Ezra Miller in real life is a fucking.
Well, Ezra Miller is Ezra Miller kind of in real life from Perks of Being a Wallflower, which works in that movie, but it's annoying to meet that guy in real life.
He's like that creeper. He's like that creeper in like the that sits in the back in high school. He sits in like the edge of the
yes,
in the back and stuff, just staring out in the window, waiting for a death note to drop from the sky. Like,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, oh yeah, Planet Queen. Oh yeah, when he beat up that woman in the bar. Yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that wasn't.
He's a real piece of shit.
He does not represent us, if you will.
No, he doesn't.
I'm talking about the gay community. No, he does not represent us. We don't all.
I'm sorry you got him.
We didn't get him. He's just there.
It was like that Dave Chappelle when they did the race trade.
Yeah.
It was like, can we get someone from the straight community? We'll take anybody but Ezra. We'll trade you him. Fuck. Someone's gonna try to cancel me for that. Anyways, no, my mom's gay. I don't have a problem with the gay community. So before you fucking weirdos go, oh my God, Zod. And also, I'm a villain.
Wait, is that true?
There's been some people, who's tried to cancel me, or they wrote they're gonna flag me, or they wrote a nasty comment because PB made a joke about Asians, which was a matter of fact kind of a thing, and they took it to heart like we were serious.
No, I meant like your mom's actually gay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, how?
I will never tell you the story of how I found out, because it's not how any kid should find out. But yeah, my mom's a lesbian.
Oh, we can put two and two together, or, well, yeah. But
I was gonna make a joke, but I was gonna leave it alone.
But I mean, okay, I guess. Well, I mean, at least you're here. I guess. I don't know. That must be so. I mean, that must be so weird. But anyway, we could talk about that some other time. Okay.
I mean, Phil.
No, Father Zod, you're not going to go into the story on how. Okay, I'm going to start wrapping this up before. I'm going to start wrapping this up before we get embarrassing fucking stories in the chat.
No. You're like, look here, son. This is
no, this is great. No, we've already gone this far. No, you made us suffer through that video, which is probably that those assholes. I mean, are going to rightfully claim your ass now because you basically just played the video, had no commentary. So yeah, and I had to listen to that Griffin fuckface millennial who kept interrupting Silent Bob, which is just so rude and disrespectful. Like,
you mean your proper variant?
No, that's not a variant of me. No, he looks okay. He looks nothing like me at all.
Well, Sylvie looks nothing like Loki.
That's
okay.
True. Sylvie doesn't. They should have at least given her like. Wait,
hold on. How do you know who Sylvie is, Zod? If you never watched none of the Disney Plus stuff,
doesn't mean I don't look at people's spoilers.
No, I'm sorry. You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't seen.
He made a comment.
We'll talk about this whole thing.
Pictures
but then again, I'm on this panel, and I'm only going off of based on what I hear. But I'm being honest. Like I just my frustrations have been with the dipshit that was in the video. Who would no? My point is no. We have to know about this now. The stream just got interesting because you wasted a half an hour of our time listening to that guy talk with actually no interruptions, no pausing, no relief from his blabbering ass. I think we deserve something after our suffering.
Rebecca says to you at Justin Popper, that is not true. LOL. I have decided opinion on the new Black Widow, and I don't need to see it.
No. I'm talking like it's okay if you watch the trailer and you decide, oh, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Basically, you don't really have an opinion on the movie itself. You have an opinion based off of maybe what other people have said and word of mouth, and you're like, I'm not going to see it. No thanks. That's I have a decided opinion on the new one. Well, no, you've decided not to see it. You don't really. You said like, no, this is not going to interest me. What I've heard, I've been spoiled. I've read the synopsis, whatever. You've just chosen not to see it.
But I do want to say something really quick, because I am going to start wrapping this up because I did have surgery on my teeth and I'm in a lot of pain right now. I wanted to say that I appreciate the fact that we could have a panel like this. We could have our chat going and people might not agree, but everything is friendly at the end of the day. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but that's my whole point of doing this. I want to get to a place in doing these kind of things where we could point out stuff and be objective about it. You know what I mean? Even if we all don't agree, at least all of our points sound objective and it's not coming from a place where we're just disliking something just, oh yeah, because I hate it, blah, blah, blah. You give them reasons and concerns and keeping them separate. That's why I wanted to do the controversy first before I did the review, because I do see them as two separate things. And I think that there is this thing where people need to stop mixing the drama with the show because it can affect it, but I don't see where it does. There isn't a connection to what we've seen. And Perp, maybe you come back and we can do a review together of the show itself. And we can like talk more about the show and then just kind of, go back and forth there.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking about rewatching it one of these days.
Yeah, so I'll hit you up and we'll talk on the DMs or something. But I just I want people to get the full story or be able to come on my channel and get a different point of view, because I feel like it's just exhausting. And at this point, we're in 2021. Nothing's really going to change, and we should just start taking things at their value. You know, like if you can clearly see it in something, then yeah, call that shit out. Because if a creator makes it obvious, like fucking Black Christmas, fuck you, Black Christmas. Worst fucking movie in existence that was such a fucking joke of a movie, bullshit feminism kind of angle. It was terrible with no horror. Ugh. Oh my god!
You know what? Here's yeah, and you know what? I at least like the slasher remakes that came out 10 years ago. So at least we had fucking tits still.
Now the new slashers nowadays, you know, they're starting to come back. You know, Fear Street. Shouts to Fear Street. That shit was dope.
You saw the Fear Street trilogy? That was actually really good. You know, and just like, guys, see, R.L. Stine makes more than just, you know, semi-mediocre kids bullshit.
Dude, I don't know about you guys. We should all do a review on Fear Street too, but
all of them. Oh my gosh, it was. Dude, I was like, wow, it didn't hold back.
Like, it reminded me of watching Scream again, and I love Scream.
Did it really? I wouldn't go that far, but
I definitely had some scene. The beginning, the opening kill, whatever for 94. That definitely was Scream inspired.
Dude,
oh yeah, because he like grabbed her and stabbed her in the chest, and that was like a homage to Scream, because that's how Drew Barrymore got killed in that opening scene. So I like the nods to the bread slicer. Yes, Dean Jacob. I was like, oh my god, they showed that.
That's still the best kill.
It was hard, but dude,
I love Kate. Kate is such a dope character.
Yes, with the guy's head.
Yep. Or it was I think it was the girl.
It was Kate. Yeah, it was a girl.
No, it was the guy that got his head literally just
no. It was Kate. Then the other dude, Simon, he's the one that caught the axe to the
head. No, I swear that was a dude that got his. Okay, I might be mixing up kills. It's been a few weeks since I saw it when it just came out, and I only saw it once. I really liked this part 2.
Yeah, man, like part 2 was really dope. Some people like gave some shit about the pacing, but I was like, yo, like I like the cast.
It was perfect. Like
I almost thought that movie should have been part 1. Like I don't think they should have started in 94 and then go back and do the other ones, you know, as like prequels, because I kept forgetting, because it had been weeks since I saw the first part.
Well, the director said like 94 is the starting part of the universe and stuff, because he wants to kind of MCU it and just like kind of do a whole shared universe and stuff. And
I don't know the other two movies the way they made those.
Yeah, I just think by the time the other 2 movies came out, you know, like weeks apart, I had already, you know, I had lost track of what. I was like, wait, what happened again? It's like I have to rewatch 94.
But they gave you that little recap always at the beginning.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough for me to like. I mean, to notice more little things. I don't know. I just kept getting distracted. Especially, yeah. I mean, we could talk about this next week or something, or whenever we want. Actually, because
it's been on my mind a lot.
Yeah, seriously.
Maybe, next Friday we'll do a late night talk special. We'll just talk about Fear Street. Dude,
fuck yeah. Or I don't know. I want to actually be able to make that.
Yeah.
I won't be able to do that on Friday probably.
Or Saturday.
Well, I mean, seriously, whatever. Yeah, whatever works. I mean, heck, I can host one of them. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever. Planet Q's Queen. I can't wait for the new Halloween. I'm jazzed up about that. Like,
they've got Chucky coming out in October too.
Oh my god!
Even though it looks like a CW show.
There's so much good stuff coming out in October. They're also,
yes.
what was
Scream
it?
5's coming out in January.
Oh, that's
Dune.
not a good sign. That
Dune
it's
is
coming out in
coming out
January.
in October.
Hmm?
Dune. I've been waiting for that. I'm a huge Dune
Same.
fan.
Did you guys like? Apparently Chucky is going to be a new TV series on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm actually hyped for that. That looks
It's going to
good.
be on Sci-Fi. It's going to be on Sci-Fi.
And
Oh,
what's his name? The original guy is
Yeah,
Brad Dourif?
it's continuing
Brad
the
Dourif's
movies and
doing
stuff.
Chucky.
It's continuing the movies. Like it takes place after Cult.
They said that it has all the original characters too.
Yeah, so they're going to tie in
They're
Cult and
bringing
all that stuff.
everyone back.
Mhm.
That is so cool, and I love it that nowadays people are interested in going back. You know, and these are giving these actors much needed work.
Yeah, when's the last time Brad Dourif did something like? And
well, Brad Dourif's been fine, but if they're hiring, if they're hiring original
like 70.
actors, it's kind of like hey. William Zabka has been in a couple of things, but Cobra Kai is like the biggest thing he's been in a very long time, and it's giving him very consistent work now.
Oh, we got Candyman too. Like that's coming.
Can't wait, Candyman too.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's another one coming out next year. That's gonna get the Halloween treatment.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're gonna make it. It's gonna be pretty much. It's gonna be like they're gonna ignore all the sequels. It's just gonna be a direct sequel to the first movie. It's gonna be pretty much like an older Leatherface.
No, they already did that.
No, but then I'm saying like how Halloween ignored all the sequels and all the Rob Zombie everything like prior to it, and it's just a direct sequel to the first one.
Yes. However, they did that already, so they're doing it all over again.
I would honestly rather.
Ryan, how are you? Good to see you.
I would rather see them go back to the was it 2003?
Yeah.
I would rather them go back, like do a sequel to that.
That was
be like an older Leatherface.
Actually good.
Yeah, older Leatherface with one arm.
Oh man,
they did lose an arm.
Yeah, it's just one arm. How does he start the chainsaw with?
With his teeth.
His feet.
Oh my god. Anyways, we actually went for 3 hours. I gotta go take some pain medication and get my ass to bed. Everybody, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that we can bring this perspective. I know this is a little bit different. Hope you enjoyed the Shilling and that guy's voice for a half hour for no reason. You're welcome.
Okay. Now our reward. Let Mr. Zod tell the story. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's gonna stay buried in a closet, just and proper.
Terrence the Link.
No, that's not poor phrasing. Buried in the closet. How dare you, Zod? How dare you?
What if I told you that was Terrence the Link?
That was so bad. Yes, bring Terrence on, and this can go for another 3 hours.
Oh man, I would have to hop off. I can't do another 3 hours, man. I'm on some pretty heavy medicine. Anyways, let's go down the line. Justin, when can everybody find you, or where?
On YouTube.
Oh Jesus! Speaking of vague, no, you have something you do every week involves bullshit.
Yes.
Oh my god! Why do I fucking do this to myself?
This week in bullshit, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, as always, and every now and then I will come on Zod's channel and a couple other people. I was even on Mad Max's channel the other night. Because, fuck it. Yeah.
How was Mad Max? Is he still on Fury Road, or?
Oh,
let me go off there.
Shut up.
I know Mad Max. I've always wanted to drop that joke. I've waited to talk to him so I could say, "Hey, Max, how's Fury Road?"
I always make the joke because of his dumb mask. I said hey, I'm really sorry the Slipknot tryouts didn't work out.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And of course, we have the ever controversial.
What?
Controversial?
Controversial?
Yes.
Okay,
Perp.
okay. Unless you're talking about when he says the 70s were trash, which is a joke. But
My pronouns are evil and villain. So
No, I have those pronouns. You got to identify as something else.
no, that's my
Hey.
shit.
wait, who said you could monopolize it?
You know, I guess it'll have to be a battle of the bad guys. Oh, and go check out PB. He'll have a cheese in it on Saturday.
Oh, but anyways, yeah, I'm Perp. I got a bunch of stuff coming. I'm gonna watch Green Knight, and Jungle Cruise and all that other shit. Be on the lookout. Yeah.
Awesome. Go check out PurpMinded's channel. You know, all of us here on the panel have known each other a while. Everyone I invite on is pretty cool and chill, and they give really great conversations. I enjoyed the back and forth tonight. I think Saturday we'll do a Fear Street review because I heard a lot of hate for it, and I don't understand why.
I don't hear a lot of hate for it. If it's hate, it's like little. You know what I'm talking about.
Well,
People
it won't float everybody's boat, but that's only if you don't like quality cinema.
and
a
to
good,
be fair,
good straight up horror movie, slasher movie, you know,
fun.
that's just it's R-rated. That's happens to be Arlstein. But he does kid stuff. I'm like, no. If you've read any of his novels that actually have come out, like he has some brutal, fucked up kills, and
it's something that's not
characters fucked up. Yes,
it's something that's not DC or Marvel related for once, or Star Wars. So it's something new.
You know what I never hear though that really pisses me off, guys? Nothing I hear people talking about, and this is what I talk about with these arguments. Oh, thank you, KH. Is that no one ever talks about they actually do lesbian characters quite well in this show.
Hey, spoiler alert.
I mean, spoilers. But, well, I mean, it's been out.
No, just don't go any further than that.
But I didn't say who and when. You'll figure it out.
No, don't go any further than that.
But anyways,
but you are correct. You are correct. They did it really well.
Yeah, and it's like, you got to be equal. Like, we should be actually being like, hey, this show actually does representation for once that isn't annoying, and they're good characters. And I like that girl because she was in the show that I watched with Bitchy called Trinkets, and I was gonna be like, nah, fuck this, because I don't like some of the political shit in it, but it was a good show. It was a damn good show, and the lead character of Fear Street is one of the characters from Trinkets, and I liked her acting in that, so she was pretty good. Give it to them. Netflix got some up and coming talent over there.
Yeah, man. That could be some competition for American Horror Story because they definitely they're kind of slipping with the story shit, but I'll wait for season 7.
American Horror Story. They shit the bed when they finally the Donald Trump season. That was it for me. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Apocalypse was fun. The 1984 one, that was pretty cool. I like that. That was fun.
Apocalypse was up and down for me. 1984 though, I'm glad I watched your reviews because that's why I watched it, and it was fire. Like that story was
fun. I had fun with it.
I like Apocalypse. It's better than the first season, to be honest with you.
No. The first season still first 2 seasons are still they haven't topped that. It shows because they always go back to Murder House. Like with the American Horror Stories, they went back to Murder House. I was like,
I saw that. I was like,
they probably did that because it's probably a 10-year anniversary that it's been around. So go back to Murder House.
But give them credit though. 10 years, they did a smart choice doing an anthology because you can go off the story and still be relevant. So, anyways, we'll do that. Thank you everybody for watching. This is what a debate should look like, and I'm glad that I had these fine people to have a lively chat with, and of course you guys. I'm glad to hear constructive criticisms in the chat. I'm glad that you all interact well. It means a lot. It's kind of what we've been going for this channel, and I appreciate all of you guys. And don't worry, I'll be fine. I'm probably going to sleep the whole day tomorrow because I actually get my other antibiotics that I need, and it's going to be Sleepy Town for Zod. So please,
well deserved, well needed, and everyone is going to thank you for it.
anyways,
but I do have just one more question. Just it's real quick, and I don't mean to extend this any longer than you want it to by too much. But why is it that we have to acknowledge, like, oh, thank you for being civil in a discussion / debate situation? Like, why do we have to keep saying that? Like, why is that the norm? Like, isn't that kind of sad?
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's why I appreciate this chat, is because this has been the best chat that I've had. But we've all seen in the past, we've all been in those situations where our chats have been horrendous. Not for me recently, but back in the day. And it feels nice when people can talk amongst each other and have funny jokes back and forth. And I think it is sad, Proper. I think it's sad when we can't, when everything's so divisive, people are so angry. And I'm glad that we've all, each of us here, because all of our chats are pretty civil. I'm glad to see that, we can come to that point. And like you said, it's sad. It's sad that every chat can't be like that. Like,
it just shows
okay
what great people.
Opinions. Yeah.
Great people on the panel, great people in the chat, even Mega Jetty, even though he's creepy when he whispers, but I mean, yeah, it's about it. And, the worst thing that really happens is just, I say like, oh, Perp, you're wrong, but that's just, you're wrong in my opinion. And we understand that. Or I'm like, you could even say like, what? Are you fucking crazy? You idiot. What? Like, it's just
Zod's always wrong though. We gotta.
Yes. Well, when he does get it right, never mind. You were right about that.
And on that note, I don't want to leave on this panel and stop the Asian hate. Good night.